chair back, remember, because it's the camera view. This is a flex. This looks super nice. I like the way it looks.
Technically, I'm just mid-major. It's not mid-major madness, but yeah, I'll take it.
That's crazy. You'll have access to games in the second semester even though you won't be a student.
Yes, I will.
And you're paying rent too.
We'll see. We'll see. I was reading it, and if me or Rokula dipped rent, it would default to you guys. Yeah, get ready.
If you hoe us, I'm going to break your kneecaps.
Get ready.
I'm going to break your kneecaps.
I'll call Tommy DeVito to break your kneecap. Oh,
He's a Patriot.
Is that a sore subject?
No.
I think your QB room is good enough without Tommy DeVito.
He was the worst one there. Because Jackson Dart is the future, obviously. Did you know that Jackson Dart's the future?
Is he?
You put him with
Oh, dude, my buddy Matt is the drum major.
Wow. Weak crowd.
As the weather.
Yeah.
Rhodey's in a poncho.
Can't get the costume wet. So are we like doing graphics for starters? Kickoff. Yeah, we are. Okay. Offensive starters, and then yeah. Okay, so we are doing starters. All right, preseason accolades. A lot of this I'm just gonna let you talk about. Like when we do graphics for like starters,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna like let you cook, bro.
it's my job.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the. He's looking deep. He's got Buchanan.
And I'll give like the oh my god,
Oh, the Brady thing.
yeah.
Oh.
But you're gonna give the Auburn's gonna win the football game while I'm going oh my god in the background. I feel like when the color starts like when both guys
Expectations are high in Kingston as Rhode Island is coming off of their first ever CAA Conference Football Championship. This season, the Rams return some key players and carry a top 10 national ranking. The Hunters become the hunted as Rhody kicks off its 2025 title defense next on Flow College and Me TV. The wait is finally over. Football returns to Kingston tonight as the defending CAA champion Rhode Island Rams open up their season by welcoming in an up-and-coming Campbell Camels team into Meade Stadium. And welcome inside the broadcast booth. I'm Jonathan Blair, joined alongside Ryan Palillo. We're happy to join you along on this 2025 season. And Ryan, last year for the Rams, one word to describe it is history. They won their first CAA championship in program history, but now they come into 2025 with expectations now.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, you can define the offseason with the word hectic, but we're here. The season is upon us. The chaos is only about to begin.
And let's take a look at some of the playmakers that Rhode Island will be using tonight. Starting off, of course, with none other than the quarterback. It's Devin Farrell.
Well, Devin Farrell's a guy who Rhode Island has loved to rely on. Unfortunately, last season was cut short due to an injury against Delaware. Taking a look at what he did last season, 16 total touchdowns, 300 rushing yards, and 1,600 passing yards earned him all CAA third team. It also earned him something much more important, and that is experience.
And you know what helps with that? Being a dual threat quarterback, getting it done on the ground as you see here, taking it, moving out of the pocket, able to make things happen with his feet. One of the key things he can do, but it also helps to have a true wide receiver one that he can throw the football to, and that one, the 6'4" wide receiver, Marquise Buchanan, just an absolute superstar.
Absolutely, and there's no other term to describe Marquise Buchanan than a bona fide wide receiver one. Last season, all CAA second team, over the 80 reception mark, over the 1,000-yard mark, 8 touchdowns through the air. He is a quarterback's best friend.
He can get it done. He has been spectacular ever since he put on this Rhode Island Rams uniform, the local kid getting it done. And speaking of getting it done, here's AJ Pena, the superstar who comes back to Rhode Island this year looking to make history.
Exactly, and AJ Pena returning after a little brief pit stop in Memphis this offseason. He decided he wanted to come back to Rhode Island and build a legacy. And a legacy is what he is on track to do. 12.5 sacks last year, 22.5 tackles for loss, over 80 tackles. He is a nightmare for offenses.
And he's only a couple sacks away from history for the Rams, and the quarterback that he is trying to take down tonight, none other than Mike Chandler II. Rhode Island saw him last year, but now a bit of a different situation for him coming into 2025.
Exactly. Chandler has matured both physically and mentally. Last season, Chandler over the 1,000-yard mark through the air, but sort of a dual threat there. 500 rushing yards, 15 total touchdowns. Fun fact about Chandler, he was also the team's leading rusher last season with 500. Biggins returns with 400, but Chandler looking to deal damage both on the ground and through the air.
There you see his touchdown pass against the Rhode Island Rams. That was last season. And here is the other quarterback here for the Campbell Camels. It's Camden Six-Killer.
Exactly, Camden Six-Killer. And those stats don't exactly tell the story about the talent that this kid has. And actually, both those quarterbacks listed as #1, so don't be surprised if you see both of them on the field, and don't be surprised either if Camden Six-Killer is making some splash plays.
We will see multiple quarterbacks here for the Campbell Camels, and we are just about set to get started here from Kingston as Rhode Island, after making history last year, comes in looking to do the same thing.
Exactly, and Coach Fleming on the Coach Jim Fleming Coaches Show mentioned talking about the amount of preseason accolades that this Rhode Island team has. You know, a number of all-conference predictions, a number of Player of the Year awards in guys like AJ Pena, Marquise Buchanan. But something that Coach Fleming told Steve McDonald, shout out to him, was preseason awards are nice, but we haven't done anything yet. And I really think that rings true to the kind of brand of football that Jim Fleming is trying to create and has created in these last couple of years at Rhode Island, where, you know, you can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk?
As we get set to get started, there's Jim Fleming in his 12th season as URI head coach, and he has really turned the program around. Not just last year, but in the years prior, you could tell they were building a culture, and it really paid dividends last year, and now they're looking to make a sustainable winning culture for years to come for Rhode Island.
Absolutely. Fleming has done wonders for the folks here in Kingston.
Campbell deferred. They will kick off to start off their 2025 season. And here we go from Kingston, the 2025 season officially underway. We will start off with a touchback, and Rhode Island's offense will take the field.
And I'm sure the Rhode Island offense is excited to take the field first here. An entirely new running back room on a team that is known for their RPOs. Look for Littleton, Winovich, and Barrow to make a splash here.
And Twain Littleton Jr., the transfer from Temple. Gabe Winovich, the transfer from Rutgers. After last year, Malik Grant was one of the best running backs in the conference. No longer there. Here's Devin Farrell, who really showed so many flashes for Rhode Island last year. And that's his stats against Campbell. Over 120 yards passing and multiple touchdowns. He gets under center for the first snap of the season. Buchanan in motion. It's a play fake. Looking deep for Buchanan. He's got him. Across the 50 down to the 44-yard line, and what a start for Rhodey's offense.
Buchanan goes down, helmets are flying, but that's exactly the way you want to start a game. A deep pass down the middle to Buchanan off the play action, and Rhode Island's just getting started.
You look, they're going in some tempo. The offensive players already towards the ball. There's the starters there.
Absolutely, and this Rhode Island offense, last season they were one of the premier units in the country, and they look to do the exact same this year.
There's the skill position, a lot of skill there. Farrell in shotgun, a pitch to Littleton Jr. His first carry as a Ram, makes a move, runs a man over. Gain of about 9 yards, makes it 2nd and short, but a flag on the play.
Flag down on the play, but Littleton was someone that Coach Fleming told people to watch out for. This dude stands at 6'1", 240. Those are linebacker metrics.
Ref says play on. It's 2nd and 1 now from the 36-yard line. Some efficient offense here from Rhodey early. Another handoff. Littleton again. He gets the first down to the 31-yard line.
And for Rhode Island, this train just keeps on chugging. That's another first down. Taking a look at some of those defensive front men for the Campbell Camels. I think defensively, not the way you want to start, but of course, there's a lot of football left. They do have an opportunity here to get a demoralizing blow as the Rams push into their territory.
In the secondary, Brandon Guzman versus Marquise Buchanan. That's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Here's Farrell looking deep again. He's got a man. Touchdown, Rhodey. What a start. It's Kevin Schaefer.
And just a lapse in everything from the defense. I mean, Kevin Schaefer, Farrell could have tossed that underhand. Schaefer could have walked into that end zone. He was wide open.
Rhode Island's offense picks up where they left off. A couple of big plays from the air this time from Devin Farrell. 6 early points, less than 2 minutes into the ball game.
Absolutely, and as fun as this may be for Rhode Island, it can be frustrating for Campbell. I mean, you know you're an underdog. You've got a number 9 ranked Rhode Island. You're on the road. And it looks like the Rams will draw a penalty there. But for Campbell, you got to have a short memory here.
There's a flag before the kick. So it's an offsides on Campbell. But here is Garth White. New kicker here, grad student. His first kick, an extra point. And it's up and it's good. A 7-0 start here for Rhode Island. And they, in a season where they have so many expectations, their first drive, less than 2 minutes and 7 points already on the board.
Absolutely, and a 4-play touchdown drive there, and we're going to get to take another look at this touchdown reception from Schaefer. Farrell has all the time in the world, and that's when that offensive line we were talking about pays off. Farrell able to stay confident. He also mentioned on that Coach Fleming show, he wanted to become more of a full 100% pure quarterback. He's been facing the allegations of being a dual threat, maybe a run-first kind of guy, but he shows you right there he can get it done through the air.
2 for 2 with 61 yards and a touchdown. I'd say that's a good start, and you can see the smile on his face. And Kevin Schaefer with his first touchdown of the season. There's a smile on his face. Rhode Island off to a quick start, and now we will see Campbell's offense for the first time tonight.
Kevin Schaefer was looking for the hard cam there, trying to get a screenshot to impress the family. We see you.
Now for Rhode Island, their defense really won them a couple of games last year. So now we get to see them and how they attack this Campbell offense. Obviously, multiple quarterbacks will be used from the Camels, so you're not entirely sure how they'll attack it. But here is Garth White. It's a short kick. It's taken at the 10-yard line. Chance for a run back here. This is Randall King, upended at about the 28-yard line. And that is where we will see the Campbell offense come out.
And it's interesting now to see what kind of approach will Campbell take. Their leading receiver from last season, Sincere Brown, has transferred on to Colorado. He's doing a grad season with Coach Prime. But Campbell, with the loaded QB room, we're going to see what they come out with and what the supposed move here is. Looks like Six Killer is back there, but Mike Chandler's also on the field.
Mike Chandler was used as a gadget guy. He is in motion. Here is Six Killer. It's just a handoff, and a short one at that. Pick up about 2 yards.
Like I said, John, it's going to be very interesting to see the strategy and the play calls here when you have 2 listed QBs on the field. And right as I say that, here's the starting offensive line unit for the Camels. And it looked like Chandler just checked himself out, so Six Killer will remain in. But some talented skill group folks for the Camels as well.
It's a pass, his first one under some pressure, dumps it off, and it's not caught. A drop there by Ethan Lawrence. And here is the Rhode Island defense. A lot of change here for Rhode Island.
Absolutely. Case Menkins there, one of your 4 captains for the Rams, and taking a look at that linebacker core, Moses Muse, who was in the area on that last drop there. The secondary has changed a lot, but in terms of their oomph, not much has changed. They've got a lot of talent.
2 plays in, and it's 3rd and 8 here for the Camels, and the Rhodey faithful coming alive. Six Killer, 3-step drop over the middle, complete, and the tackle is made short of the first down. And so Rhode Island gets a 3-and-out. Looks like it was Carson Harwood who made the tackle short of the sticks. And after scoring a 2-minute touchdown for Rhodey's offense, their defense forces a 3-and-out.
And again, all things going right for Rhode Island right now, as it looks like the Campbell punting unit will come on, and Rhode Island scores a 3-and-out.
Punt is away. Back deep is Angel Sanchez, makes a move across the 35. He's got room, breaks a tackle to the 50. At the logo, he gets brought down. What a start for Rhode Island. They lead 7-0. They get the ball back with 11 minutes and 39 seconds, looking to tack on some more. you see the fans here packed out at Meade Stadium on a bit of a rainy night here on this beautiful Friday evening. And they're watching a football team really assert their dominance early, as here's the offense back out there for Rhode Island. It's Farrell, play fake, looking again, and he's gonna make a tough throw to Gaines. Did he make the catch? And they say he did. Nice play there from the captain, Greg Gaines.
Well, Rhode Island now just taking what the defense gives them, coming off of that 3 and out. That's something that'll give an offense some energy.
Again, moving with tempo, 2nd and 5. Under center now is Farrell. It's a pitch to Littleton, makes a move and puts his shoulder down, gets a couple, and it's 3rd and short here for Rhodey.
Yeah, just a short gain there for Littleton. Important now for the Camels defense to make a stop here. You don't want to go down 2 scores within the first 5 minutes.
And now Rhode Island with an offensive line like they have the ability to be a team that can run the ball well and throw the ball well. 4 of the 5 starters from last year back here again, looking to repeat the CAA championship. 3rd and 2, handoff, and breaking a tackle and falling forward. Antwain Littleton Jr. At 240 pounds, he is tough to bring down in that backfield.
And that's why you bring in a transfer there like Antwain Littleton. I mean, 240, his legs just keep on churning. He got hit 2 or 3 times before he eventually fell forward for that first down.
Again, the offense moving with tempo. There you see Gaines and Buchanan bunched up at the top of your screen. First down and 10. Here's Farrell, deep drop. Looking outside to Buchanan. Did he get the foot in? He did. What a catch from the All-American Marquise Buchanan.
And you know what I noticed there on that play is right from the snap, Devin Farrell had his eyes trained on Buchanan. Now, generally, that is like a fatal flaw for quarterbacks, but it almost seems like when you're throwing the ball to Buchanan, anything goes. Taking a look, see, Devin Farrell just, from the moment he got that snap, he knew where it was going, and it's good for a first down.
It's 1st and 10 now from 24-yard line. Rhode Island approaching the red zone again. And before the play is off, we get a flag. It'll be a false start.
Well, you know, John, that's what game 1 is for. Get some of those mental mistakes out of the way.
And when the offense is moving the ball as well as Rhode Island is, both on the ground and in the air, those penalties seem a little less costly. So it'll be 1st and 15 now for Rhode Island's offense. There you see Abor Kwarteng at the top of your screen. Buchanan in the slot. The Campbell defense looking to make a stop here and help out their offense. Here's Farrell under some pressure, and he's taken down.
Yeah, and a sack there for Campbell. That is huge. That's 2 backwards motion there for the Rhode Island offense, and shocking to see a sack as URI offense ranked 12th last season in the nation in sacks allowed, only letting up 16, but there the pocket just collapsed on Farrell. Campbell sends the house, and, well, Rhode Island got what was coming.
Devonye Pettis, the one that got home. And now 2nd down and 23 for Rhode Island. Their offense sputtering for the first time tonight. Farrell again goes towards the outside, and the catch is made. This time it's by Kwarteng.
Yeah, so Farrell again finds that sideline out route. This time it's Kwarteng reeling that one in. Both Buchanan and him have done a decent job of keeping those feet in bounds. It takes a lot of talent and precision, even in college, when you just got to make it 1 foot.
Still 3rd and long, 12 yards to get the first down, but looks like we'll get a timeout here before this 3rd down.
You know, this gives both coaches to talk a little bit about how this game's gone so far. I mean, Rhode Island obviously striking first and getting this crowd riled up, but the last couple of plays have been all Campbell.
Yeah, now 3rd down and long. There's Braxton Harris, the 2nd-year coach for the Campbell Camels. They went 3-9 last year, and talking earlier in this offseason, really in that second year, the years after the first year, you really get to control the roster a lot more, really make it your team. And they have a lot to be excited about, a lot of young talent on both sides of the ball, and a big test here for them week 1 against the defending CAA champs.
Exactly, John. And 3-9 in your first season as head coach, that doesn't define you. You can't let that define you. Coach here now has an opportunity to make an upset on the road against a ranked opponent. And we're getting word now from the studio, the previous play under review. It was Portang who made the grab on the sideline, but they're going to check and see were his feet, or foot, I should say, was the foot in bounds? That's what they're taking a look at.
Remember, they need evidence, enough evidence to overturn the call. The call in the field was a catch.
Absolutely, and seeing what we've got here on our replay system, it looks,
I think that
looks like that right foot dragged inbounds, despite what coach is saying over on the Camel sideline.
There you can see him right away saying he was out of bounds.
But like you said, John, there's got to be irrefutable evidence against the call on the field. But it wouldn't be surprised if this one stands.
It's a big call, obviously, for Campbell. You understand why they make it. You keep it instead of 3rd and 12, which is already a tough play to make if you're Rhode Island. It's 3rd and 23, almost 3rd and forever. Big difference there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also got to start thinking about field goal range. We know Fleming was talking about the kicking transfer. Garth White also has Ty Groff, who was the field goal PAT kicker for the Rams last season, still around. So a lot of factors riding on the call here.
It looks like we have a decision. So no change was made. A challenge attempt by Campbell, but they come up empty, and so it will stay 3rd down and 12 for the Rhode Island offense.
And you gotta respect the decision there from Coach Harris. I mean, gutsy plays, they win you games, especially when you're the underdog.
Still a tough task here for Devin Farrell and his offense. 12 yards they must get to keep the drive alive. Rhode Island looking to jump ahead by 2 scores as we approach the halfway mark here in this first quarter. Rhode Island must get to the 19. Here's Farrell. Throw over the middle. It's caught by Gaines, and he's upended short of the 20-yard line. So it looks like Campbell gets the stop they need. Gaines got up and kept going, but he's ruled down at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, and Greg Gaines is such a secure receiver. He's just someone you can rely on at all facets of the receiving game. Devin Farrell, though, showed some pretty solid composure in that last one, as now the field goal unit will take the field for the Rams.
So here is Garth White. You saw him kick the extra point after the touchdown on the first drive, looking to make it 10-0 here. From the right hash. And before the kick is away, we have a flag. It's unfortunate for Garth White, but they call a delay of game.
I was almost wondering there, John. It seemed like the Rams were taking their sweet time.
Yeah.
I don't know if, always important to remember Meade Stadium is in a wind tunnel. Maybe Garth White was waiting for the perfect moment to take the snap.
So they will add 5 yards to the kick for Garth White. Big opportunity here. This one not an easy kick by any means, especially it's been raining pretty much all day here in Kingston. So we will see what the new transfer can do. The kick is up, and it's going to be no good. It's wide right. So Campbell and their defense comes through, gets a much-needed stop, keeps it a 7-0 ball game.
Yeah, and again, this is huge for Campbell, and this stadium just erupted a little bit. We've got a couple of traveling Fighting Camel fans here that are eager to see now how the Camels will respond.
There you see defensive coordinator Chris Laurenti. He's done an excellent job under his tenure as the defensive coach. He's now in his 6th year with the program. And boy, last year that defense was stout, and it's a good way to describe it. It all started up front, but now loss of a couple of key players, Wesley Neal, Freddie Millay, Cole Brockwell, Emmanuel Gomes, and we get a pitch to Chandler. He's getting chased down. He will dump it down. Pickup of about 6.
So there's a little bit of that trickery that I was wondering if we would see or not. A pitch made to Chandler, who then took the safe option. He had a receiver way downfield, but it would have been a contested catch attempt. But nonetheless, it's good for a gain.
Ethan Lawrence, the one on the catch, gets 4. Here is Camden's 6 killer. He's in the shotgun. Quick pass. This is a screen here. Will not go anywhere. Trey Lubin all over it for the Rhode Island defense.
And that's exactly how you defend that kind of route for Trey Lubin. You take the short gain, but nothing more.
That was Spencer Jones on the catch. 3rd down and 3. Rhode Island looking for another 3 and out. 6 killer looking to his sideline, adjusting the play at the line. 3rd and short for the new Camel. Quick pass, and it's incomplete. Another 3 and out here for this Campbell offense. They have yet to pick up a first down in the early going of this season, and they will be punting again to this Rhode Island offense.
Yeah, and that's got to drive Camden's 6 killer crazy. He knows what he can do. He knows what he's capable of, just falling a couple yards short each time.
So here's Lucas Wynn on the punt. Back deep is Angel Sanchez. Had a really nice return earlier. We'll see if he can do it again. Backed up to about the 18-yard line, and he muffs it, and it's picked up by Campbell. There's a fight for the ball. We'll see what the referees rule it. Campbell thinks they have it.
And I think they do, John.
And they do. What a blunder from Rhode Island, and what an opportunity now for Campbell as they will get the ball back in the red zone inside the 10-yard line.
It's always interesting to see how quickly the tides can turn. Campbell, who is yet to gain a first down, now has the ball seemingly inside the 5, as we see the punt was just muffed there from Angel Sanchez, who had a pretty solid return on his first one.
There you see Campbell, their special teams group, all over it. And there is the offense coming back out onto the field. They will start this drive from the 3-yard line. What a turn of events, and momentum completely shifting in this one.
You know, I feel like this is a silly observation, John, but I also feel the need to say it. If you're Campbell, you've got to score here.
Spencer Jones at the bottom of your screen. That's Randall King in the slot. It's going to be a handoff, and it's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Rhode Island's defense coming to play, and who else but A.J. Pena to get the stop.
Yeah, the handoff was to J.J. Cowan, the 6', 210 sophomore. He just had nowhere to go.
No gain, 2nd down and goal. Again from the 3-yard line. Good start for Rhode Island's defense as they look to hold them to 3 and maintain the lead. King in motion, and it looks like we have a false start, I believe. Everyone's pointing at each other, and that's how these things typically go.
Yeah, it looks to me like this one's probably going to wind up on the Camels, and that's just shooting yourself in the foot. You've got a great opportunity. You cannot afford to let it go. Guess I was proven wrong there, as that will be called on the Rams, and, well, I'll share the same advice to the Rams. Don't shoot yourself in the foot.
So it's now from the 2-yard line, about the 1.5. Huge break again for the Camels. J.J. Cowan in the backfield. It's a play action, and they're going to dump it off to him for the wide open touchdown. The Camels get on the board with a touchdown, and it's a pass from Camden's six killer to J.J. Cowan.
Yeah, and the Camels offense there, they had everyone on the field, everyone in the stadium thinking it was going up the middle. They find Cowan in the flat, and that's good for 6. The Camels have a chance now to tie it up.
Riley Sullivan is their extra point kicker. Kick is up and good. So we have a tie ball game here. A wild turn of events as what looked like an easy punt turns into 7 for the Camels, and we have an even up ball game.
Aquaculture, growing seafood, creates stewards of the environment. Our business decisions have to be environmental decisions. What we want to achieve when we grow an oyster is consistency, a deep cup, a thick shell. Where we grow the oysters contributes to the flavor and the texture. At Matunic Oyster Bar, we have our own farm-to-plate cycle. Our oyster farmers and vegetable farmers bring their product to the chefs, then to our servers, then to our guests. We try to get better at it every year. Hopefully we can keep that going.
There's been a tradition amongst pioneers, laborers, immigrants, neighbors. Transcending down through generations, it has been learned, inherited, and with us, well, it's in our blood. All we have is one another, fueling each other's fire as we grow together in community, in our work, and in life. So we're proud to carry on this great American tradition of being there when it counts.
What looked like an opportunity for Rhode Island to take a massive lead over the Camels turned into a blunder, and we have a tied ball game here, 7-7, as we are approaching the end of this first quarter. As you see the Rhode Island band. Now the Camels looking to kick the ball away back to the Rhode Island offense after they missed a field goal, came up empty on their last possession. The momentum shifting towards the road team.
So interesting stat here. We've got a tied up ball game, and the Camels have still yet to secure a first down.
Kick is away, and it will be a touchback again. So Rhode Island's offense now in a brand new ball game, looking to have the same energy they had in their first drive of the game, a 4-play touchdown drive. 2 passes at 30 yards apiece by Devin Farrell, and he has really shown strides in the early going.
Absolutely, yeah, and he talked about how different this camp was for him now that he's no longer fighting for a spot. Instead, he knows, he knew he would be QB1 coming into the season, and he mentioned that he had a lot more time to just work on his game. It was less impressing, less trying to make a splash for himself. He could bring himself up, he could bring others up, and so far, I'd say Farrell should be impressed.
It's Littleton on the carry. Bullies his way forward. He's still fighting. Wow. What power from the running back. A gain of a 7.
Absolutely. And taking a look at this from the Campbell perspective here, you just tied it up. This is your opportunity. If you can shut Rhode Island out, if you can keep them from crossing that 50-yard line, momentum is heavily on your side.
2nd and 2. And why not give it back to Littleton? Fighting forward, and he gets the first down.
Yeah, Littleton, he has just been hard to stop. He is wreaking havoc on that defensive front.
Rhode Island, over the past couple of years, have made their money offensively running the football. Obviously, Devin Farrell, dual threat quarterback, Kasim Hill before him. You've always seen running backs Jaden McKenzie, Malik Grant, as evading pressure is Farrell looking deep, and he's got gains. across the 50-yard line to the 46. What a play by the quarterback, Devin Farrell.
And again, this is Devin Farrell showing that he's not just a dual threat. He is the complete package. As he could have very easily taken off on this play, he rolls out to his left side there, narrowly avoids the sack, finds a wide open Greg Gaines, even takes some contact there, but now the Rams are in enemy territory.
A lot of times when you're thinking of quarterbacks that are playmakers, once they evade pressure, it's can they keep their eyes downfield, as we have a carry for about 2 yards here by Littleton. But Farrell doing a great job on that play, getting away from the sack, keeping his eyes downfield, and that was just a great play from the quarterback.
And so far, Farrell is 7 of 7 with 110 yards in the air with a touchdown. He'd love to keep this going.
There you see Jamal Mensah bunched up with Marquise Buchanan on the bottom of your screen. Here's Farrell again, looking deep. Of course, he goes to Marquise Buchanan, who gets a first down.
And Marquise Buchanan just has a gravitational field around him. Those hands of his are sure, and he's just a sure target all around.
He can do it in all facets of the field. His route tree is limitless. He can win quick. He can win intermediate routes across the middle. And of course, 6'4", and as fast as he is, he can win deep. Here's Farrell, handoff, it's Littleton. Stuttering behind the line of scrimmage, plunges forward for a gain of about 3.
Well, the Camels look like they're slowly starting to figure out this Rhode Island rushing game as Littleton's going to take a breather. Gabe Winovich, a redshirt freshman, will step in. Someone on that Campbell defense who's been a force so far has been Kalen Villanueva, the redshirt senior. At linebacker, he is someone who knows how to wreck games.
And as much excitement as there is for Littleton, Gabe Winovich, another guy in this backfield Rhode Island has a ton of confidence in. As Farrell over the middle, it's Feiner, makes the catch into the red zone down at the 10.
And a great catch there and a touchdown saving tackle from Brandon Guzman, the graduate corner. Guzman last season had 2 interceptions and a forced fumble. So he's no stranger to making big plays.
First catch of the day for the tight end, Connor Feiner. Gets Rhode Island down to the 11. Less than a minute in the quarter. It's a handoff to Winovich. He will get stopped. Ball is out, but the ref will rule him down. A lucky break here for the Rams.
Yeah, it looked like the knee went down before the ball popped out as Littleton's going to step back in. Winovich will take a breather. You know, the way I'm seeing this offense look so far, Connor Feiner, number 2, the tight end for Rhode Island, looks to be filling in the role that Tommy Smith played last season. Tommy Touchdowns was a fan favorite for a lot of Rhode Island faithful, and looks like they're going to take another peek at that call that was originally ruled down.
What another momentum shift this would be if it gets overturned. The Rhode Island offense driving down the field. You've seen Devin Farrell make a couple of impressive throws, and this would be a huge stop for the Camels if it is ruled a fumble, because they were the ones that pounced on it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it'd be a shame for the Rams and Coach Fleming here to toss away another opportunity. You hate to see two gimmies that turn into nothing.
The Rhode Island crowd dancing to a very popular song nowadays. Feeling hot to go. As here we take a look at the play. It's Winovich again, and I'm not sure. It looks like the ball might have come out.
It might have. I think what they're going to try and look for here is did his elbow touch the ground first?
Look, the safety, JoJo Pace, was the one to knock it out.
Yeah, and JoJo Pace, the Camels' leading tackler last year, the Rhode Island marching band enjoying this stoppage in play to raise up the spirits. The officials are taking their time looking at this one. So, John, I think they definitely see something. The question is the evidence irrefutable?
JoJo Pace, again, the one who knocked it out. No stranger to forcing turnovers. Had 2 picks last year. Just an overall playmaker, 74 total tackles, that is, last year. And Here we take another look at the play. Gets the head down, and I'm not sure about you, but that looks like it came out to me.
Yeah, John, I got a feeling that they're going to call it this one. Well, there you go. The ball did, in fact, come loose. The elbow was not down before the ball was out, and now Campbell will take over, and that's just frustrating if you're Rhode Island.
A couple of mental mistakes have really helped out the Camels in this comeback attempt, leading 7-0, driving down the field, missed a field goal, a muffed punt, and now a turnover in the red zone. That'll drive coaches crazy as Camden's six-killer comes out again to lead the Campbell offense.
So now the Camels have been gifted this one on a platter. You've got to do something here if you're the Camels.
It's a handoff, a quick throw, and it's incomplete. Second down and 10. Obviously tough field position as well for the Campbell offense, who have really had a struggle moving the ball. They haven't picked up a first down. Obviously they got the touchdown. They started that drive on the 3-yard line, but struggling to move the ball a little bit. Another incomplete pass, and now we see Mike Chandler as the play caller. Six-killer split out wide at the top of your screen. We're having some fun here in the playbook here early in this quarter. It's a QB power run, makes a spin move, but brought down for a gain of about 2.
So yeah, the design run won't go anywhere, and that'll probably end this first quarter here for us. But you know, you got to start thinking for the Camels. I know it's early in the season, but rotating your QBs like that, the great John Madden once said, if you have 2 QBs, you really have none.
And that is the end of the quarter. Looked like Rhode Island would take control, but Campbell has stormed back and made it a fun one. Start of the second quarter here from Meade Stadium, and we have an even ball game, 7-7. A game where Rhode Island has felt in control, but a couple of mental mistakes on special teams and on offense have opened the window here for the Camels. 3rd and long to start out. Six-killer strike over the middle, and they will get the first down. That's Spencer Jones on the catch.
Yeah, and a major feel of relief there for the Camels. Went the entire first quarter without a first down. Now they finally get that, and now they can start moving.
Again, a trend we notice with both teams moving with tempo. See what Six-killer can do. Looks like we have a free play, but they will blow it dead. They got A.J. Pena to jump off sides, and Braxton Harris a little bit upset, saying, why did you blow it dead?
I think there was a little bit of confusion on both sides of the ball there. Not sure what the call is going to be, but you are right. A.J. Pena was moving. I can see why Coach Harris is upset.
So it'll be 1st and 5 for the Camels after one of the best defensive players in the conference makes a mistake, jumps off sides.
And Chandler stepped back in, but it looks like Six Killer will remain in the QB spot.
I'll tell you, it is fun to see how they are using Mike Chandler. Again, a dual threat quarterback, but they are really using the athleticism that he has to help them out. See motions in. Now he jets back out. It'll be a handoff. Nice hole up the middle. He'll be 2 yards shy of a first down. That one is Naeem Kearney.
I'm getting remnants of Taysom Hill with what I'm seeing from Mike Chandler. He's just kind of that guy who's a Swiss Army knife. It doesn't matter where you have him, but he's someone you just want to have on your field offensively.
2nd down and 2. Now you're starting to see the Camels moving the ball a little bit more efficiently. They got their first down of the game. Now 2nd and very short. Chandler still in the game, split out wide. There he goes in motion again. It's a fake. Six Killer dumps it off, and it's dropped by Kearney. A mental error again, this time by the Camels. It's 3rd down.
Oh, and that is one that Kearney wishes he could have back. He had a lot of green ahead of him, probably good for a gain of 10 or 15, but the drop now makes it 3rd and short.
3rd down is where this Rhode Island defense can really make their fame. Obviously, you look at playmakers, Case Makins, A.J. Pena, and the secondary, Andre DePina Gray, Ayinde Johnson. We saw Trey Lubin make a couple of nice plays as well in this one. Six Killer at the bottom of your screen. It's Chandler taking the snap, and it's a QB run. He bounces it outside, cuts up, and he gets the first down. Mike Chandler showing off the wheels.
Shows off the wheels. He's also showing off the ball carrier vision. He waited exactly for the right moment to make his cuts and find a first down for the Camels, and that'll earn him a little bit of a breather as he'll check out.
He's been in for the entirety of the 2nd quarter. He's yet to throw a pass in this one. So it's Six Killer again. Here's a carry and a stop, or a broken tackle, excuse me. A wide open spot for John Boyles to get a tackle for loss. But a nice job there by Ethan Lawrence to get back to the line of scrimmage. Gained 1 actually on the play.
And he just threw John Boyles off him. Get off me. Threw him right to the ground like he was a piece of paper.
Empty backfield here for Six Killer. Quick drop, has plenty of time. Now ranging right, looking for anything. He's gonna look to go with his legs, and he will get a first down. We've seen Mike Chandler use his wheels. Now Camden Six Killer showing what he can do.
And a very smart and controlled play there for Six Killer. They opt for the empty set. Six Killer found some running room to the right, knew he had the speed to evade some linebackers, and makes a smart decision to go out of bounds.
It's man-to-man coverage. It's pretty frequent you find no one covering the quarterback. That's when you can really put your wheels on display. And that's what Six Killer did there. Chandler back in the game, and he gets the carry. And he breaks a tackle in the backfield, but will have to go down. A loss of about 1. The Rhode Island defense showing their muscles.
Yeah, and the first wave of defense there came in number 26, Rohan Davey, 5'10" linebacker. He doesn't play like he's 5'10". He plays like he's a pretty big guy, though didn't secure the tackle necessarily there, but it doesn't matter when you've got a sea of blue coming in on the left side.
Davey's a guy who's had a really good camp. He made the majority of his appearances last year on special teams, but again mentioned the departures that Rhode Island has had defensively specifically. Davey's a guy who has a golden opportunity to prove himself this year. Screen pass, and that one will gain about 6. A quick pass to Parker Jones.
You know, and I think offensively for the Camels, this is going to be the strategy that they'll find the most success in. Try and get those short, quick dump-offs. I think they've been looking to go deep, trying to sweep and, you know, go sideline to sideline too much. I think some of those quick curls will really serve them well.
3rd and 7. Fans coming alive on 3rd down. See if Rhode Island can get a stop. The Campbell offense has looked much more efficient. Excuse me, 3rd and 3. Here's Six Killer. He evades the tackle, goes up the middle, and has the first down and much more inside the 30-yard line. And there's a flag on the play. We'll see if this one is coming back.
I think it was on the defensive side there. It looked like it was going to be a free play based on the throw. So a mental error there from 97. That's Case Mankins, the captain. Though it doesn't have much of an effect as Six Killer found a beautiful seam right up the middle. And the Camels offense is looking as lively as ever.
Down to the Rhode Island 33. Looking to take the lead against the defending CAA champions. Six Killer looking to the sideline for an adjusted play call. And it's a handoff. And this time he gets swallowed up. Nowhere to go. The Rhode Island defense finally gets free in the backfield and makes the play.
Yeah, absolutely. And not saying that it's do or die here for the Rams, but you definitely don't want to go down in the first half against an underdog opponent at your home stadium. And we'll see this Rhode Island defensive front is, their aggression levels have just gone up and up. There was Pena getting credited for that tackle.
2nd down and 11. Six Killer rips a ball over the middle for the first down. Breaking a tackle is Randall King, and now he will get tackled by a sea of blue. But a nice throw and catch over the middle. And Campbell continues to move the ball well.
And Randall King, Agent Zero there, finds the spot on his drag route exactly where he needed to be. The ball was exactly where it needed to be, and then it moves the chains.
There is a ton of excitement in Randall King as a player at Campbell. He's only a sophomore, 6'2", 205, had 2 touchdowns, just under 400 yards receiving. Just an all-around playmaker, even on special teams.
Campbell look like they're trying to use the hard count to draw some folks off sides.
It's Mike Chandler again. Six Killer split out wide. It's a handoff. And they will get about 4 yards. That time to Naheem Kearney. Or excuse me, that's J.J. Cowan.
And Cowan so far on the night rushing has not found much success. That is first positive gain, but he does have the receiving touchdown earlier on.
So there you see Mike Chandler really getting creative in how they use his athletic ability. Now in the red zone for the first time. It's a QB keeper, and he breaks a tackle, keeps going down to the 5-yard line. Mike Chandler, shifty as ever, and they are threatening to take the lead here on the road.
And I would hate to be the linebacker in the middle trying to tackle Mike Chandler. He is just so difficult to bring down in an open field. Watch as he takes this one. Smart play there. Can't tell if it was drawn up like that or not, but regardless, he takes it up, and now Campbell's got 1st and goal.
They will stick with Chandler in the backfield. It's working. Now at the 6-yard line. It's another QB keeper. And he breaks down inside the 1. Did he get across? He did. Touchdown Campbell. Mike Chandler on the keeper.
And this is where Mike Chandler comes into play. Takes the snap, a designed run, a full power sweep to the right side. He's got a sea of blockers, and Campbell's got 6.
After trailing 7-0, a muffed punt changed the momentum in the game. Rhode Island had the ball in the red zone. They fumbled it, and the Camels have taken full advantage of the mental errors by the Rhode Island Rams. And the kick is up and good, making it a 14-7 lead for the road team, the Campbell Camels.
Well, Campbell takes their time on this one, a long, grueling drive, but it ends in 6, and now Campbell, they take the lead 14-7.
We got a 14-7 ball game here from Meade Stadium. And Rhode Island will take the ball again, looking to even the score. They are the ones playing catch up now. The kick is playable. Making a move at the 12-yard line and getting all the way up to the 20, and the ball's out again. Did Rhode Island fumble the ball again? Campbell thinks they have it. Abora Kwarteng loses the ball, and Campbell is gifted the ball in the red zone again.
And those are the first game jitters. I know it's the second quarter, but the mistakes just keep on piling up for Rhode Island. And if you're Campbell, if you're an underdog in enemy territory, you're making a home trip, not to mention you're starting your season off with a conference opponent, but it's the reigning conference champion. You love to be in this position. As we're taking a peek here at this return there. And that one just popped right out, and that's the second special teams mistake that Rhode Island has seen. And, you know, I don't need to state the obvious, but the coaching staff, you know, this is the stuff that you really work on, and you think you've got it all right, and now Campbell has the ball inside the Rhode Island 20.
It looked like it was Antoine Sempa on the forced fumble. This is a handoff up the middle, down towards the 11-yard line. That's Naeem Kearney.
You know, if you're the Rhode Island defense, as debilitating as this feels to be back on the field after a long drive, you've got to give a little something here. It seems like the worst case scenario for Campbell is they walk away here up 17-7. But for them, that's all you need.
This one a pass, a 1v1 ball, and Randall King unable to make the catch. Trey Lubin on the coverage, and it's 3rd and 3.
Well, there was a little bit of a 50-50 there between King and Trey Lubin, but eventually it was King made the grab, just unable to keep those feet in bounds, and that's what's so important. That's such an invaluable trait for receivers, is having that footwork and knowing exactly where you have to be.
3 for 5 on 3rd down are the Camels. Looking to make it 4 for 6. Six Killer. Pump fakes the throw on the outside. Incomplete. Ayinde Johnson in coverage. The #1 corner for Rhode Island makes a play. And we'll see if they send out the kicking unit. It looks like they will.
And a no-brainer here to take this field goal, but take a look now, Ayinde Johnson. That's why he's CB #1. He is a lockdown guy there, an easy catch supposedly there, broken up by Johnson. And now the Campbell's gonna try and take the 3 here and make this a 10-point game.
Riley Sullivan's kick is up and good. So that will make it a 17-7 ball game. And with where things were just about a couple minutes ago, that feels like it's a gift for Rhode Island.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's interesting here because Jim Fleming, he mentioned on this coach's show, he told Steve McDonald told him actually a fun fact that URI in the last 4 seasons is a combined 19-3 at home games at Meade Stadium. And Jim Fleming's response to that was, well, you know, home games at Meade Stadium, they've always got pins and needles, always some jitters going on. And you know, he's not far from the truth. And as he finds himself down 10 to Campbell, who is ranked 10th in the CAA preseason poll, that's to the Rams #1. So it'll be a real test of not only skill and ability, but it'll be a test of mental fortitude if the Rams are to even attempt to come back now in this one.
And Rhode Island, if you look at their last season's opener at home again, was against Holy Cross. That came down to a game-winning touchdown by Sean Harris. Farrell, was the one on the throw as well. And we'll see if we have any kind of those theatrics here tonight. But Rhode Island is going to need to turn things around and quickly as they trail now by 10. As this one sails into the end zone for a touchback.
So now Devin Farrell and his squad will make way onto the field. I'm sure in the Campbell huddle right now, they're just talking about just do your job, do what you have to do. They have the lead, you have 10 points. I know it's the first half, but a big first half lead can pay dividends down the road.
Devin Farrell, 9 for 9, 143 yards and a touchdown, and his team is down by 10 as Littleton spins out of a tackle but gets wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. So Devin Farrell really showing his development right now, but a couple of turnovers on fumbles, on special teams, and in the red zone really have his team behind the 8 ball right now. And he's looking to really cement himself as one of the best quarterbacks in the conference. Now is the time to really show off your development. 2nd and 9. Looking deep, and he's got Greg Gaines just over his head. So an incomplete pass, and it's 3rd and 9.
Yeah, and just put a little too much on that one, but you know, when you're Devin Farrell, you've got to do that. You can't underthrow into double coverage. That's where bad things happen if you're a quarterback.
Well, it might be my fault. I was talking about how he was perfect, 9 for 9, and you know, Devin, I'm sorry. That one, announcer's jinx.
You believe in the announcer's jinx, John?
It's backfired too many times for me to believe anything else. 3rd and 9 here for Rhode Island. Looking to get a drive started, find some pay dirt, get back in this game. Kwarteng in motion. Here's Farrell. Going deep again, this time to Buchanan. He's got him! Down to the 20-yard line, still fighting. 15. And he is wrapped up there. What a throw from Devin Farrell. And who else but Marquise Buchanan on the catch?
Absolutely, and that is what Marquise Buchanan does best. He finds space in the middle of the field. The throw was perfect, in stride. Buchanan able to reel it in. I'm gonna try and take a peek, get another look at that throw. Buchanan, he's gonna take a little breather after that one. He made some long strides to bring the Rams into the red zone on 3rd and 10. Nonetheless, I was actually just about to give my 2 cents on the Rams play calling. I thought they might want to go conservative, but good thing I didn't say anything.
A 59-yard gain. And here is Farrell on the keeper to the 10, breaks the tackle, down inside the 5. That's the first time tonight we've seen Farrell use his legs, and the ball is moving for Rhode Island.
So to get this field position, it took perfection from the quarterback and from the receiver, Marquise Buchanan and Devin Farrell. Their connection there brings the Rams in, and Buchanan carried a defender on his back now as the Rams with a scoring opportunity.
Here's Littleton, gets wrapped up for a gain of about 2. Boy, just as we were talking about how Farrell really has to take control of this game here, try and get his squad back in it. A 60-yard completion to one of the best receivers in the conference, and then a keeper for about 15 yards as well. And now Rhode Island 3 yards away from making it a 1-score ball game.
And when you're 3 yards away from pay dirt, that's where it pays to have the offensive unit, the offensive line unit, I should specify, that Rhode Island has. You mentioned they've got the key returners, they've got the size, they've got the strength, but do they have the willpower?
2nd and goal, Buchanan back out there. Here's Farrell, throwing into the end zone and off the hands of Marquise Buchanan, but the flag is down.
So a penalty call there, as it was Buchanan who made a diving one-hand attempt to reel that in. I'm not sure where this one is going to be called. And a lucky break there for Rhode Island. We're going to get the pass interference call. They're going to get a fresh set of downs and move even closer to the end zone.
So it'll be 1st and goal from the 2. The penalty on Marquise Alexander, the grad student. So now Rhode Island really set up here to get 7 more on the board. As we are under 3 minutes to play here in this first half. Farrell in shotgun. It's a handoff to Littleton, trying to bully his way through, but he won't get there. A defensive stand from the Camels.
Yeah, and that Campbell defensive front has to be on their A game. They're doing everything they can to stop Littleton, who has been wreaking havoc, but this Campbell defensive line unit has stepped up to the challenge. They are not letting Littleton go anywhere.
All right, so 2nd down and goal from the 4. Farrell looking for gains, and it's incomplete, but a flag is down. You could see the jersey tug from up here, and Rhode Island looks like they'll be the beneficiary of another penalty.
And it's going to be another defensive pass interference from the Camels, that time on Marquise Alexander, the grad corner. So he was tied up a little bit with Gaines in the corner. You see the jersey there. It was Alexander giving Gaines a little bear hug, and again the Rams have a fresh set of downs inside the 5.
It's hard to score here in the red zone. Everything just tightens up. So now we'll see, as you look at how Littleton is set up in this backfield like a track star, and the ball is fumbled at the goal line. Looks like a miscue, but this time I think Rhode Island fell on it. But boy, that could have been a real problem.
Yeah, at this point you're almost wondering maybe the equipment manager messed up and gave the Rams some oil slicked gloves. We've been seeing fumbles all over the place. The Rams lucky to escape that one, or at least that's what it seems for now. The officials are talking about it.
Looked like they were trying to do a quick handoff to the tight end Will Dixon, who has been in on a couple of plays this drive and really tried to power their way into the end zone, but some difficulties on the handoff. Now we'll see how they end up ruling it.
So the call, it does stand. It'll be 2nd and goal still for the Rams. They say the runner dropped it and picked it right back up. Frustrating for Rhode Island. You've had so many opportunities, but a testament to what this Campbell defense can do. And it looks like both teams will talk things over here at the 2-minute timeout. So it'll be the Camels up 10 in this season opener.
see friends, see food, see view. The Coast Guard House Restaurant.
What a beautiful shot on the beautiful sunset raining down here from Meade Stadium. As we return from the 2-minute warning, and it looked like Devin Farrell was just trying to call a timeout, but coming out of the 2-minute warning, they can't do back-to-back breaks, so we'll see what their offense can muster up. It's a handoff to Littleton, powering his way up the middle for a touchdown. And Twain Littleton Jr., his first touchdown in the Keeney Blue, and it's 17-13.
Yeah, and there with Littleton, the Rhode Island mindset, just if you at first you don't succeed, try and try again. They were feeding the 240-pound running back Littleton up the middle, and eventually they get it, and now Rhode Island is one step closer to equalizing this game.
Here's Garth White looking to make it a three-point game, excuse me. Kick is up and good. And so Rhode Island responds, cuts the deficit to 3 on the first play coming out of the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and just again on that handoff up the middle there for Littleton. He just powers his way through, falls forward. And the Campbell defensive front did a superb job the first couple of plays, but again, they were giving up opportunities after opportunity. A couple of defensive pass interference calls gave the Rams extra opportunities, but it was Littleton who eventually fell forward. And now the Rams only trail 3.
You can see Rhode Island really showing Littleton's power as a running back. Again, he stands 6'1", 240 pounds, and flexing his muscles that time in the red zone. Getting Rhode Island's second touchdown of the night. So now they will kick off to Campbell, who really did a good job getting their offense going. You've seen the way that they've used Mike Chandler, who was a real beneficiary on that last drive, and we'll see how much running they're able to do. Again, less than 2 minutes left, so a bit of a 2-minute drill type of drive coming here for Camden's 6 killer and Mike Chandler.
And talk about how huge it would be for the Camels if they could get some points here going into the half, up at least 6. That would be something special.
Kick is short of the 10-yard line. It bounces to Randall King, who smartly puts his foot out of bounds and fields it. And so that will draw the penalty flag. That is some heads-up special teams from the Camels.
And that's what the kids call a 1,000 IQ play there. That one was technically, if we look into the rule book, that is a free kick out of bounds. You see there that right foot triggers the flag, and now the Camels will start from the 35.
He fielded the ball and then looked directly back at the referee. He knew exactly what he was doing. As a sophomore, having the IQ as a returner to do that, showing why Randall King is generating so much buzz for Campbell.
Yeah, King showing he is, in fact, a student of the game.
So starting the drive now at the 35, courtesy of the penalty. It's 6 killer. It's going to be a handoff to J.J. Cowan, who gets upended for a gain of nothing as Pena's fighting for the ball. He's getting excited here.
And Pena's got to make sure he keeps his head cool. He was cocking his head back and forth, pumping his arms. You love to see that energy from your star linebacker, but you don't want to lose yards because of it. It was a combination of Pena and Pena Gray, the blitzing safety, who made the stop.
So the clock continues to tick down to 1:20 here in this second quarter. Empty set for 6 killer. Quick throw on the outside, and it's complete to Randall King. Just shy of a first down, looks like. So it'll be 3rd and short. And now Rhode Island uses their first time out of the game.
Yeah, and they're going to talk this over. They really like to avoid any points before half. They've got the momentum right now. They just got the touchdown. You're only down 3. You'd like to keep it that way, but this Campbell offense, you know, John, it was a brutal first quarter for them, but really since the start of the second quarter, since that bell rang, they've been coming into their own.
And it's all because of their rushing attack. You look at Killer has 7 completions on 11 attempts for only 48 yards. He does have the touchdown as well. But then you look at their rushing attack, 24 yards on the ground for Killer, 22 for Chandler, 10 for Kearney, 5 for Cowan, and 4 for Ethan Lawrence. 3rd and short, it's a jet sweep to Randall King, trying to get to the outside, and he's tackled behind the line. Jordan Campbell makes the stop for Rhode Island.
And Campbell just came flying in like a heat-seeking missile there on that play to get the stop. They ain't going anywhere. He's got that left side more than unsecure, and it looks like the Rams will take another timeout here on 3rd and short. They're going to talk this over, and they're going to let the crowd get fired up.
It's now a loss of 4 on that play. What a tackle from a cornerback. Flying in with his head cut off, makes the stop behind the line, and now with 1 minute and 2 seconds left, 1 timeout remaining. Now trailing by just 3. Before the timeout was called, their offense for the Camels was still out there. We'll see if they adjust that or if they try to get aggressive here, try and get points on the board heading into the half.
Yeah, you know, if you're Rhode Island, I say you get the ball back with decent position even. I say just go for it. Just go for it. They're the better team. They know it. Campbell has brought the punch here tonight, though. So we'll see what happens. Special teams has not been the Rams' strong suit.
They will be punting. Angel Sanchez back there again for Rhode Island. The punt's away. He calls for the fair catch. And there it is. So the drive will start at the 25-yard line with 57 seconds and 1 timeout for Rhode Island.
So now that decision is to be made. We'll see what kind of offensive front the Rams come in. And we'll see what the Campbell defensive unit does in response. But like I said, John, I think, you know, if you're Rhode Island, take a shot here and there. See what you can do. You've got 1 minute. You've got 1 timeout left. Campbell's got all 3. So what you don't want to do is give the Camels an opportunity. And we'll see what the decision is.
Campbell will start the second half with the ball as they kicked away to start things out here at Meade Stadium. Here's Farrell, feeling the pressure, spinning away, keeping his eyes downfield, and he's going to throw it away. Greg Gaines in the vicinity.
Well, right there, John, you saw the attempt, the shot. I don't know if my mind changes after that one, but that was only a couple of inches away from being a sideline interception, not the kind of error you want to make in the closing moments of the first half. We'll see if that changes the play call here, and my guess is, John, that it won't because they are empty set.
2nd and 10, play is blown dead. And it looks like Campbell is going to call a timeout, talk things over. We'll see how he chooses to attack defensively.
So the Camels will talk this one over. And both coaches, I think, here just saying, you know what, play our brand of football, do what you've got to do. Let's not let anything get out of hand. I think maybe now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams may take the conservative approach as the PA announcer blesses our ears with some Alice in Chains.
So there's 50 seconds on the clock. It's 2nd down and 10 from the Rhode Island 25. Looking to at least get into Garth White territory, trying to tie the game up heading into the half. I mentioned the Camels will receive to start the 3rd quarter. Littleton, the lone back. A bunch set at the bottom of your screen.
Bunch left. I wouldn't be surprised to see a screen pass out of this.
Here's Farrell going to the outside, and it's dropped. Jamal Mensah, his first target. He's unable to reel it in.
Yeah, and it's frustrating too because now the clock stops So Rhode Island with a 3rd and long. Now have the risk here of giving the ball back to Campbell. Only a couple seconds have passed, and then on the game clock, it's been a couple of minutes up here.
So it's 3rd down and 10. Mensah still in the game at the top of your screen. Another bunch set. Rhode Island must get to the 35. Farrell looking deep, going that way, and it's over the head of Greg Gaines. Or excuse me, that's Mensah again. And so it's 4th down, and Rhode Island will send out the punting unit.
Yeah, and the Rhode Island offense on that drive just seemed a little out of touch, seemed a little sloppy. Seemed like they were going for something, which, you know, you can't fault them for. You're down at home. You know, you've got the home crowd on your side. You sort of have momentum on your side. You're slowly reeling back into this one. But now you pray for a good spot on this punt and try to prevent any further damage before the break.
James Allen will punt the ball away. Randall King, the one back deep to receive. It'll drop and roll down to the 30-yard line before it is called dead at the 27. So with 31 seconds and 2 timeouts, Campbell will come back out, looking to extend their lead heading into the half.
And we'll see the decision the Camels make. They've got 2 timeouts. Ball is down. They're spotting it officially at the 27. Just over half a minute remaining. And, you know, we saw aggression from Rhode Island. I say, Campbell, why not reciprocate that aggression?
They've not really let Six Killer throw the ball downfield a ton. They still do have timeouts to play with. Here is Six Killer. And that one nearly picked off by A.J. Pena. Thrown right to him, and he can't believe he couldn't come up with it.
Oh, Pena is frustrated, and I can't blame him. I don't know what Six Killer was looking at, but he pretty much placed that one directly into the face mask of Pena there. I don't know if the ball slipped or maybe he was thinking a dump off to the running back, but that ball, a shocker. I think Pena picks that off 99 times out of 100.
So another gift here for the Camels. 2nd and 10. Lots of time. Six Killer going deep and just misses Parker Jones on the deep ball.
And Jones had Johnson beat there on that left side. If they connected, well, I think the vibe in the crowd would be a little different. A scary sight for Rams fans and a frustrating sight for the Camels.
It's 3rd down and 10 after Rhode Island went 3 and out. Campbell in that same position. They must get to the 38 to keep the drive alive. .22 seconds left in the half. Play clock down to 5. Just gets it off. It's a handoff. It's a keeper, excuse me, as Six Killer gets upended short of the 1st down, and we'll see if Rhode Island uses their last timeout. And they will. So with 17 seconds, Rhode Island uses their final timeout. Campbell will send out the punting unit again, and we'll see if Rhode Island's able to get some magic here at the end of this 1st half.
So both teams have given a little bit of a shove to each side, a little back and forth action. Rhode Island using their final timeout on 4th and about medium. 4th and 2, I guess, is the call. Looks like the chain crew is a little, it's not lining up exactly. It looks to be on the field 4th and 4, although our Jumbotron out there says 4th and 2. Nonetheless, the punting unit is out for the Camels, so the ball is in Rhode Island's court.
Punt is away. Sanchez makes the call for the fair catch and fields it at the 27-yard line. And with 11 seconds left, no timeouts, I wonder how aggressive the Rams will get here in their play calling.
You know, John, I'm going to pivot from what I said last drive. I think if you're in this instance, Rhode Island, just take the knee. Take the knee, go talk about it in the locker room. No need for pins and needles, as Coach Flem has come to call the late game feeling at Meade Stadium.
It looks like that is exactly what they will do. Farrell set to take the knee, and that will do it for the first half of action. We count down to the end of the first half. Campbell will head into the locker room with a 3-point lead, and they will receive the ball to start the second half. And it's a funky feeling as Rhode Island has 244 total yards of offense, 202 coming from the arm of Devin Farrell. But they go into halftime trailing by 3 to the road team.
Yeah, they've doubled Campbell's offensive production, but still trail. And you know, there's so many factors that go into this game. You know, your season opener being a conference opponent can be so tricky, and it can really cost you later on in the season. But how about this for Campbell? I mean, what an opportunity it would be on the road. The number 9 ranked team, the number 1 preseason poll team in the conference. You have a chance to walk away with a victory.
So 17-14, Rhode Island got off to a hot start, but a couple of mental errors helped the Camels get back into it. Here is Mike Chandler powering his way. You saw that a lot. 17-14 heading into the break.
Aquaculture, growing seafood, creates stewards of the environment. Our business decisions have to be environmental decisions. What we want to achieve when we grow an oyster is consistency, a deep cup, a thick shell. Where we grow the oysters contributes to the flavor and the texture. At Matunic Oyster Bar, we have our own farm-to-plate cycle. Our oyster farmers and vegetable farmers bring their product to the chefs, then to our servers, then to our guests. We try to get better at it every year. Hopefully we can keep that going.
This broadcast is brought to you by the Harrington School of Communication and Media at the University of Rhode Island. Go from sports fan to professional when you study sports media and communication at URI. The Harrington School of Communication and Media will harness your enthusiasm and transform it into lifelong careers, passions, and missions. Study with industry leaders as you move towards your career goals through real-world experience with state-of-the-art equipment. Visit uri.edu today and get into the game.
At the half, it is 17-14. The Camels have come up to Meade Stadium and made their mark. And now in the break, Rhode Island with some pressure, looking to deliver with these fans, having high expectations coming into the season.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's high expectations all over the place, particularly taking a look at those CAA preseason polls. The coaches get a chance to talk about it, and we get a chance to listen. So taking a look at what we've seen here in the preseason polls, we know that Rhode Island is projected to finish first, but we'll look at some roadie accolades, the preseason awards. So the coaches think A.J. Pena will reign Defensive Player of the Year, Marquise Buchanan a Walter Payton award list, and no surprise there, we've been saying those two, their names a lot. Alexander and Bethea down on the front also projected to earn some honors. Farrell projected for an all-conference honorable mention, and Ayende Johnson, the all-conference honorable mention as well at defensive back. And taking a look at Devin Farrell, and something we talked about in our open, John, is he has just, I really think he's matured a lot. He has come really into his own.
Yeah, and he did a really good job of showing it as well, throwing for over 200 yards in that half. You didn't really see any mental mistakes from him. Obviously, the Rams struggled to hold on the ball in that first half, but he was really getting it done with his arm, with his leg, and of course, Marquise Buchanan, you've also seen him a couple of times tonight. He looks to be the safety valve, the deep threat, everything you want in wide receiver. And I've mentioned this offensive line a couple of times. Trey Alexander at center, Brock Bethea at left tackle. Those are both returning players who really broke out last year in the Rams' run to their first CAA Conference Championship, as well as Ayinde Johnson. We've, of course, called his name a couple of times tonight. And so those are the playmakers that Rhode Island has. And when you have playmakers on both sides of the ball, it really makes it so hard for every other team to game plan coming into the week. But at halftime, Campbell up 3. (17-14), Camels on top again at halftime as the Rhode Island fans getting serenaded by a beautiful performance from the marching band. And you can say that Rhode Island has been expected coming into this year to have some beautiful performances. Let's take a look at the preseason poll.
Yeah, taking a look here, what we see, Rhode Island clearly number 1 with 8 first-place votes, followed by Monmouth and Nova. We take a peek at Campbell, who's number 10, but something that catches my eye and might catch the eye of CAA football fans is the lack of Delaware and Richmond. Delaware, we've noted, has jumped to FBS play. They're now in the Conference USA. Richmond has joined the Patriot League, so that leaves the lone Rhode Island up top in terms of those top 3 finishers from last season. Now, again, we've mentioned that Coach Fleming, you know, as much as he loves these preseason polls, these accolades, he likes, you know, who doesn't like to hear, you know, what potential good your team can do. He's mentioned that, you know, the preseason poll, it's a preseason poll. This is before.
Yep.
They haven't played a game. You know, he's someone who likes to let the game do the talking, and so far, both Rhode Island and Campbell here in this opener, they both let their games do the talking.
Yeah, and if you look at number 4, Stony Brook, that is who Rhode Island is slated to play next week on the road, so that one will be a tough one. They will also have a home game against number 5, New Hampshire, that one coming on October 11th. And of course, the final 2 home games after that will be against the 13th ranked Bryant Bulldogs and the 11th ranked Hampton. And so there's a look at the CAA, but let's keep talking about Rhode Island. They are by far and away the first, but like you've mentioned this Jim Fleming quote, a couple of times, they haven't done anything. And I think you could go into this halftime if you're Rhode Island and just think about some of the mistakes that you have made that, give credit to Campbell, they've really done a good job of capitalizing on, but there are clear areas where Rhode Island can clean up going forward into the second half.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is huge too, looking back on for Campbell, knowing that the coaches in the CAA think that you're only worth the top 10 in the conference, but when you want to take a look at the top 10 in the nation, well, Stats Perform has Rhode Island at number 9 currently, and Rhode Island, this is coming off of the best season in program history last year. Rhode Island hit that 12-win mark. They won an FCS playoff game against Central Connecticut State before they lost eventually to Mercer. But, you know, interesting to look at something like this, John, when you're taking a football program that, you know, 10 years ago today, fans were calling for it to disband, actually. There was a little bit of stir on campus hoping to bring Division I hockey to Kingston. But nonetheless, the Rams have stuck around, and now they're making a splash here, top 10 ranked in the country. But enough of me talking. We'll send it back to a break again. Campbell's up 3 here in Kingston.
This broadcast is brought to you by the Harrington School of Communication and Media at the University of Rhode Island. Sports is more than a pastime. When you study at URI's Harrington School of Communication and Media, you can immerse yourself in the world of sports media. Be taught and challenged by industry professionals and renowned sports experts, and explore all aspects of sports media, including current news, hands-on experience, and critical analysis. Come visit uri.edu today and get into the game.
There's been a tradition amongst pioneers, laborers, immigrants, neighbors. Transcending down through generations, it has been learned, inherited, and with us, well, it's in our blood. All we have is one another, fueling each other's fire as we grow together in community, in our work, and in life. So we're proud to carry on this great American tradition of being there when it counts.
See friends, see food, see view. The Coast Guard House Restaurant.
Black Bear Nation, let's ride. Go Tigers.
We are MPU.
You are, you know.
As one. Fly Hawks.
Top the rock, baby.
Hey, Geek Prod. Roll Hawks, baby.
Phoenix Rising. 3 more feet.
Good Pride.
One team, one heart.
Back here, the beautiful horizon. You can see it from Meade Stadium very clearly. At halftime again, the Camels up by 3, and we welcome you back inside the broadcast booth. Jonathan Blair joined alongside Ryan Palillo, and this has been a fun one here where you kind of thought Rhode Island would kind of flex their muscles a little bit, but Campbell has really taken every opportunity and ran with it.
Yeah, most football fans can appreciate good quality back and forth, and John, that's what we've seen. I mean, I think most people could have easily written this one off as a Rhode Island beatdown, but Campbell's responded, and they've responded well.
Now let's take a look at some of the highlights that took place in the first half. Ryan?
So we'll take a peek here. Devin Farrell has been shown, he's been known as a guy who can get it done on the ground, but he can also do it in the air. And as we mentioned, Marquise Buchanan, when you're throwing to a guy like him, I mean, your job has become so much easier, but it doesn't matter if it's just Marquise Buchanan. It was Kevin Schaefer who struck first with that touchdown in the first quarter on that first 4-play opening drive, which was then met with tragedy. The URI defense was getting it to go before a muffed punt gave the Camels pristine field position without even getting a first down. The Campbells were able to tie this game up at 7-7. The Rhode Island offense kept doing their thing. They do what they do best as options, RPOs. They do what they do best until you fail at holding on to the football. We've seen a couple of fumbles. We've seen a little bit of sloppy play. And, well, the Camels, they've been capitalizing, and that's what you got to do when you're the underdog. Take another peek at that scoring play to the right there from Chandler. The second he wheeled that one in to take the lead in Rhode Island. They've been having a little bit of flubs here on the special teams particularly, and there was another fumble you just saw that set the Camels up for a field goal that they drained. And again, you know, this is where you start thinking about your season opener being a conference opponent. You know, generally, at this point in the season, most FCS teams are either playing FBS opponents, sometimes they're playing those out-of-conference rivals. But both teams, well, iron sharpens iron. That's what we've been seeing here, taking a look at some of these first half stats. The stat sheet says one thing, but the scoreboard says another. Rhode Island, they've got 244 total offense. The Camels with only 122, and 200 of those yards come through the air. And that's Devin Farrell showing that he's not just the pure rusher. He can get it done. He's got 202 in the air with a touchdown. Buchanan has 113 of those yards, and the 1-2 punch there, Farrell and Buchanan, John, are just so dangerous.
Yeah, and I think when you look at this stat sheet, the first thing your eyes dart to is that stat on the bottom, turnovers and then defense points off of them. So obviously the Camels have no turnovers, but Rhode Island 3 fumbles, and that's costed them 10 points, and now trailing by 3. That's the difference in the ball game. So obviously Farrell and Buchanan have such a great connection on the field, but if you can't take care of the football, it's all for naught.
Yeah, of course, and over on the opposite end of the offensive side, Six Killer has been finding his footing here. It was a slow start, a slow first quarter for the Camels. We mentioned they didn't get a first down until that second quarter, but the 1-2 punch there of Six Killer and Chandler, well, they've been getting it to go. They've got a couple touchdowns, and the Camels have the lead here heading into the second half. We're only moments away from the kick. Don't go anywhere.
It's the start of the second half with the Campbell Camels coming into Meade Stadium and making a statement in that first half. They are up 17-14 as the third quarter is just about to get underway. Not only that, but they will start the third quarter with possession of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think we're in an era now where most teams tend to defer. We saw where Campbell deferred the second half. I feel like, you know, it was only about 10 or 15 years ago where everybody would receive.
It's the new movement to get the ball in the second half, and this is why it has paid off for the Camels. They now entered the half with the 3-point lead. Now they have an opportunity here to start the second half and build on it, continue to apply pressure to Rhode Island in their home stadium. There's not much more you can ask for of a Camels team that is so young. And again, this is their third year in the CAA, the second under Braxton Harris. And this is just a team that is showing a ton of fight going into the Lions' Den, if you will, trying to take on the defending champs and leave with a Week 1 win.
Exactly, and I would have loved to be a part of that Campbell halftime speech from Coach. He's letting them know, you mentioned the word, John, opportunity. What an opportunity it would be to capture this home open win.
So we get set here for the opening kick here in this second half. We've seen the special teams of the Camels come into play a couple of times. The fumble recovery on the kickoff, the forcing the muff punt against Rhode Island and Angel Sanchez. So now we'll see if their special teams can muster up another miracle. And again, we'll see what quarterback leads the Camels out. It's been mostly Six-Killer delivering the passes, but we have seen a healthy dose of Mike Chandler as well, as this one fielded at about the 14-yard line by Randall King, who gets bumped at the 24 and falls forward up to the 29, as there is some extracurricular going on here as these teams getting after it here in Week 1.
Yeah, in the second half, in a close game like this, is when things start to get feisty. Going to see if the tempers of either team start drawing up penalty yards. You'd hate to see that in a game that, while there have been errors, it's been mostly clean in terms of attitude.
Six-Killer is in shotgun, empty set. Mike Chandler not on the field here for this opening play of the second half. Here he is, under some pressure now, navigating through, and he's going to scramble, and he's got a couple of yards. Falls forward for a gain of 8 yards. A nice job there by Camden Six-Killer, extending the play with his feet.
Yeah, Six-Killer made the wise decision there to step up and, you know, take what he saw. I think Coach probably would have preferred if he went down there instead of, you know, taking the hit. You hate to see your quarterback take any sort of contact. And it seems like Mike Chandler has now been checked back in. He's in that right side slot position.
2nd and 2. Chandler, the one in motion, now in the backfield. And it's a pitch to him. Nice job by the Rhode Island defense, wraps him up behind the line. The play was made, looks like, by Jordan Campbell, and we have more extracurricular, and the flag has been drawn.
And it looks like it was Mason Merriweather being dragged by Trey Lubin. And a little bit of feistiness. And again, John, do you believe in the announcer's jinx? Because we are going to see penalty yards.
They called it on Jordan Campbell. Unsportsmanlike conduct, his first of the game. Here's the tackle.
And it was, yep, it was Merriweather who got a little bit of a block there, and then in comes a defensive teammate. It actually looked like it was Allende Johnson. The call on the field was number 5. But it looked like it was a number 6 there. Nonetheless, it will be penalty yards, and it'll be a 1st and 10 now in Rhode Island territory for the Camels.
Out to the 46-yard line. Six-Killer going to check it down, and it's dropped. Naeem Kearney has had a tough time holding on to the ball here tonight. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and that's a tough one, and you know, you hate to fault Kearney on that. I think Six Killer was, you know, obviously he's making that throw on the run, couldn't get his feet set. I think he let him a little too much there. Kearney only at about 5'8", doesn't have the same stature as, you know, a guy like Cowan, who's in the 6-foot range. But for Campbell, I wouldn't be too worried here.
2nd and 10 from the Rhode Island 46. It's a handoff. Kearney again, and he's not going to go too far. The Rhode Island run defense has come to play tonight. They force a 3rd and long.
Yeah, and running against this Rhode Island defense is just so difficult, not only because of those guys in the interior looking at you, Case Mankins, but especially those guys all around the box on the edge. It's a very tough unit to get through.
We've seen Jordan Campbell playing corner and in the nickel spot, making a couple of plays in the run. But now it's 3rd down and 10. Rhode Island looking to get their offense the ball back, try and get this lead again early in this second half. It's a handoff. Kearney again, and he's stuffed. Running on 3rd and 10, and A.J. Pena and everyone on the Rhode Island defense hyped up. They get a stop.
Yeah, and talk about a defensive stop to get Meade Stadium on their feet. This crowd was loving that. That offense was going nowhere, and now 4th and long. Rhode Island might get the ball back here, and I think if you're Rhode Island, you can smell blood in the water.
And this is a young, inexperienced Campbell's team in a hostile environment here to start off their campaign, 2025. Punt is away, fair catch signaled for by Sanchez at about the 12-yard line, and that is where Devin Farrell, who had an amazing first half, will lead out his offense, trying to take this lead back, trailing by 3. Rhode Island's defense gets the stop that they needed. And now Rhode Island's offense from their own 12-yard line will try and either tie the score or take the lead early in this second half. It's Farrell in the shotgun. Buchanan in motion. Those two have been a tandem tonight. Farrell checks it down to Littleton Jr., who can't come up with the ball. So it's 2nd and 10.
You know, when you think Littleton, you don't really think of receiving, although in today's game of football, the running back's got to do everything. He's more of a inside runner, they like to call him, but there he's unable to be the safety valve.
True power back Littleton Jr. is, and we've seen it on display. He's got 13 carries for 38 yards and a touchdown. So it's 2nd and 10 here for this Rhode Island offense. And 244 yards of total offense in that first half. Here's Farrell, checks it down. It's Feiner who can't come up with the catch. A drop again by this Rhode Island skill group, and it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, that's a frustrating one there for Feiner, but you just got to forget it and move on. I mean, that one was pretty much placed perfectly by Farrell, just sort of in and out of the breadbasket of Feiner. So now you're looking at a 3rd and long.
Feiner has spent his last 4 seasons at Kennesaw State. Now, donning the Keeney blue. 3rd and 10. Here's Farrell. Good rush here by the Camels. He gets away, tries to stiff arm, but it won't be enough. It looks like Rhode Island just went 3 and out. Campbell is winning the field position battle. It'll be 4th and 4.
And Farrell just falling to his instincts, deciding to scramble, gets something where there was nothing. He gained a decent bit there, but nowhere near enough. And Rhode Island, like you said, now in this little field position tug of war match, is on the losing end.
Credit to the defense of the Camels. They see a dynamic Rhode Island offense looking to tie the score, and they get a much needed stop as the punt is shanked. It goes backwards at the 41-yard line. And just as we're talking about field position, now another golden opportunity here for the Camels. They will get the ball on the Rhode Island 41-yard line.
And you could hear a conjoined groan or sigh as that one left the punting leg of James Allen, as that one was, like you said, just shanked right, giving the Camels the ball on the Rhode Island 40. They don't have too much to go, even if they're looking for just 3.
Here comes Six Killer once again. He's really started to find his stride. Last couple of drives here, and gifted really good field position. Play fake. Looking for the deep ball. Over the middle, it's incomplete. Andre DePina Gray in coverage. It's a much needed stop here for Rhode Island.
Yeah, this is year 2 of DePina Gray really being that do-it-all safety there. You can drop him in a zone, you can send him on a blitz, you can keep him in this man coverage right here. He is able to get the preventive. Might have gotten away with a little bit there too, but no call. It'll be 2nd down.
DePina Gray, when they announced all the preseason accolades, a lot of Rhode Island Rams mentioned. I was a little surprised not to see DePina Gray on that list. He really showed out for Rhode Island last year and now can build on it as a missed tackle frees up Lawrence. He gets down to the 30-yard line. Ethan Lawrence with the carry.
And Lawrence did such a good job there making a man miss, and he gets rewarded too. That'll be a 1st down.
He had 3 carries for 4 yards before that, but he picks up 11 and gets a 1st down. Now at the 31-yard line of Rhode Island, their defense is going to need to tighten up to keep this a 3-point ball game. It's a pitch to Randall King, trying to bounce it outside, but he's met by a bunch of Rams. Jordan Campbell again on the stop. And it's 2nd and long here, 2nd and 11 to be exact.
Yeah, King is a known speedster, so, you know, no brainer here as to why you're putting him on a jet sweep, but still, this Rhode Island defensive unit is so good at playing sideline to sideline. It's really hard to get the outside on.
Rhode Island run defense has been really good, and now we'll see Mike Chandler. The QB power once again makes a move and falls forward for a gain of 6.
And Chandler, such an interesting player, really like that utility gadget guy. The designed QB run from him, almost would just want to call it a direct snap, you might as well say. He tucks that one immediately and goes down, and it looks like the box here from the Rhode Island defense is loaded up.
Chandler making a change of the play at the line. Six Killer split out wide. It's Chandler. He hands it off to Lawrence, fighting for the extra yardage, and it looks like he came up short. It'll be 4th and 2. Andre DePina Gray once again getting in on the action.
And on comes the Campbell special teams unit going to try and at least muster up 3 here. Although Rhode Island still has the opportunity to go down the field and score and take the lead if this one is converted.
It's a 40-yard attempt from Riley Sullivan. Kick is up, and he drills it. What a kick by Riley Sullivan. And it's now 20-14 Camels.
So the Rhode Island defense, shows that they bend but they don't break. A couple of big plays that made the hearts of the Rhodey faithful drop a few times. But it was eventually that defense that would get the stop, forces a field goal, which they'll take here. Still a lot of football left. Campbell clinging to that lead, seeing what they can do with it.
And it wasn't Riley Sullivan on the kick, my mistake. It was Alex Crabb, a redshirt freshman, who just drilled that kick and made it look easy at that. And now it's a 6-point lead for the Camels. Some more work to do here for Rhode Island's offense. They had an opportunity at the start of this 3rd quarter. Now they went 3 and out that time. Now we'll see what they can do here. Hopefully not as far back in their own territory. They started their last drive at the 12.
Yeah, special teams has definitely been the biggest proponent of lowlights for the Rams today. Seems like everyone holds their breath anytime that ball comes down after the fair catch is waved. But the Rams, like we mentioned earlier, they've got a chance here to do something big. We'll see how they respond to this opportunity.
Jamal Mensah is back deep along with Abora Kwarteng. The kick is away, and it will fall into the end zone. Another touchback for Rhode Island. So now it's their offense's turn to get the ball rolling here in this 2nd half. Now trailing by 6. Devin Farrell, again, has shown a masterful performance with his arm, individually that is, for him, along with Marquise Buchanan, those two becoming a deadly tandem on this Rhode Island offense. But again, trailing by 6, a lot of those problems coming out of the control of Devin Farrell, but at some point he's just gonna need to try and get the work boots on and get Rhode Island's offense down the field. Here he is, 1st and 10. It's Littleton bullying his way forward for a gain of 5. You just can't tackle him going backwards. He will always fall forward. What a nice start that is for Rhode Island's drive, as there's a Camel that's down, and that's a tough one at that. That's Logan Liverman. We're gonna step aside for a minute as he gets attended to. 20-14, the Camels are on top.
There's been a tradition amongst pioneers, laborers, immigrants, neighbors. Transcending down through generations, it has been learned, inherited, and with us, well, it's in our blood. All we have is one another, fueling each other's fire as we grow together in community, in our work, and in life. So we're proud to carry on this great American tradition of being there when it counts.
2nd and 6. Logan Liverman, the team captain of the Camels defense, was the one who went down and got attended to. So big break here for Rhode Island after a 4-yard run from Littleton before the break. It's a play action. He'll take the check down to Gaines, who's able to pick up, I believe, just 1 yard before he steps out.
And Liverman going down such a blow to Campbell. He was their second leading tackler last season with 63. He also reeled in a sack, 2 interceptions. And he recovered a fumble. He's a known captain. He provides a lot to this defensive unit. We'll see how they can respond without their leader.
3rd and 6 here for the Rams offense. They're looking to avoid back-to-back 3-and-outs. Now trailing by 6. Here's Farrell. Fires over the middle to Buchanan. And they say it's incomplete. And Buchanan wants them to take a look.
No, that's a good call. That one definitely hit the ground first. Though Buchanan, you know, as the receiver, you're always going to request the replay booth. And that'll turn to 4th down. And I think that was another instance. We had a moment like this earlier. Devin Farrell just eyeballed his receiver the entire time, which can have downsides. I mean, again, you know, when you're throwing to a guy like Buchanan, you usually rely on him to make that grab. But, you know, when you keep your eyes tracked on the same guy, the defense picks up on those cues. These defensive backs are playing at such a high level. They know exactly what to do.
Here's James Allen punting away. This one's a good one to Randall King, who fields it at the 20, breaks a tackle, and is driven down at the 24-yard line. So a better punt that time for the Rams punter, James Allen. Now, an opportunity here again for the Camels to make it a 2-possession ball game, as Rhode Island's offense seems to have plateaued.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're going to see what the response is offensively from the Camels. Through the air, they really have not gotten anything to go yet, only 51 total yards passing, though they did find a passing touchdown that was at the hands of Six Killer, who is 8 for 16, only at the 50% mark, compared to Chandler, who's tossed 3 and has completed 1.
Here's Six Killer. With pressure in his face, he spins out, lofting a ball to Randall King, who makes the catch at the 50-yard line.
Absolutely, and props to King there for being patient, finding the dead space on the field. It looked like for a little bit that Chandler was going down. He really had nowhere to go, but he makes a gutsy move on the run. We'll take a look at this. He spins a little bit there, running on his off foot, makes that throw over to the sideline, and it's King who grabs it, reaches right up, extends, gets both feet in bounds actually, and they are marching down the field.
Pickup of 28. Here's Chandler on the QB keeper. Slips through a couple of tackles and falls forward for a gain of 3. And we have another flag on the play. We'll move the offense back 10 yards. A tough break for the Camels. They'll face 1st and 20.
You know, they always say holding is the drive-killing penalty. It can really not only mess with your tempo, mess with your play calling, but it gets into your head. You start wondering what is a holding, what isn't. You know, a great coach once said, you know, every play has a holding. I think right there, that's a no-brainer. That one easily gonna get called.
Sometimes the only way to stop a guy like AJ Pena is to just hold on for dear life. Unfortunate break there for the Camels. This ball a handoff. And the ball is out. Rhode Island falls on it. They get the turnover they need. J.J. Cowan coughs it up, and the Rams capitalize.
And the patrons of Mee Stadium erupting into cheers as that one was punched out, fell on. I don't think there was a Camel within a 5-yard radius after that one was punched out. It was a no-brainer. This one's going over to Rhodey.
After a lot of the momentum went into the favor of the Camels. What a stop. Of course, the captain, Case Mankins, with the one to knock it out. And Ayinde Johnson, the one to fall on it. The two playmakers on this Rhode Island defense coming together to give the team exactly what they need.
Yeah, and such a smart play there from the captain. Mankins just punched that one right out of the ball carrier's hands.
We've seen Rhode Island's defense, especially last year, come through when it mattered the most, as Littleton gets a pitch, and he's going to charge forward for a pickup of 6 yards.
And, you know, first games are always about establishing something, and something that Rhode Island's trying to establish right now is their offensive identity. And for the last couple of seasons, that's been heavily run-pass option. They've been doing a lot of RPOs. I think today they've been trying to see what they can get in terms of inside handoffs, utilize the power of that offensive line.
Think about the quarterback running back duos that they've had. Kasim Hill, Jaden McKenzie, as Farrell uncorks a deep ball and Buchanan gets tackled, and that is as clear of a flag as you could have.
Yeah, that's a defensive back's worst nightmare. You get tangled up with a guy who's got the height on you, and he draws the penalty, and now the Rams will move well down the field.
Automatic first down, and again, we mentioned the playmakers on this Rams team. Marquise Buchanan's had a great day. Just a mismatch for everyone he goes up against. So Rhode Island will have the ball on the 34-yard line as Buchanan runs off.
And in for him was Omari Walker, someone who did a lot last season but has yet to put anything on the stat sheet tonight.
Seen a lot of Jamal Mensah tonight, getting some good reps. And off to Littleton. He just falls forward again, picks up 5. He finds himself in without much space to work with, but it doesn't matter. He keeps the legs churning and consistently falls forward for that extra 1 or 2 yards, and that always pays dividends.
And I'm sure the defensive coordinator for the Camels has picked up the pattern here. Rhode Island opening a lot of these first downs with handoffs up the middle to Littleton.
There's another one, and he breaks free for a first down, stays on his feet, and is tackled at the 18-yard line. Antwain Littleton Jr., welcome to Meade Stadium. He's making his mark in this third quarter.
And again, tracking back to what I was talking about, identity, I think Rhode Island is establishing the fact that they're going to feed Littleton, and you know what? There's nothing you can do about it. If this is a tale or a prediction to what we'll see throughout the season, I think Littleton's going to enjoy the 25 campaign here in Rhode Island.
Transferred here from Temple, former Owl, and he's really made play after play tonight for Rhode Island. In the backfield now is the freshman Terrence Campbell. First time we've seen him tonight. He's next to Devin Farrell. Here's Farrell looking for Buchanan. He will not make the catch. What a matchup that was. Marquise Buchanan versus Brandon Guzman. One of the best corners against one of the best wide receivers in this conference, going head-to-head that time. And this time it's Guzman that wins the battle.
Yeah, Buchanan is a talented guy, but Guzman also knows his chops. He's got it on for defensive back, and that one bounces right off him. Farrell was looking for that back shoulder of Buchanan. A slight underthrow on that one, and it falls incomplete.
Farrell identified the one-on-one, and a guy like Buchanan, you're always going to take that as stoppage of play here.
Looks like there might be an equipment issue with the ball. We'll see what the official. Yep, they'll change out game balls.
Again for Guzman that time, playing in the slot. He's covering Buchanan now, and that time you really notice his ability to get his head around to the ball and make a play. Stopping one of the best receivers in Rams history. So it's 2nd and 10 now for Rhode Island. Omari Walker in motion. Here's Farrell dropping back. And the throw is incomplete to Greg Gaines. Again, it's Guzman on the coverage.
Yeah, that's 2 passes in a row from Farrell that were behind his receiver, and this is not really the area of the field you want to be throwing it behind someone, especially towards the middle of the field. That can always lead to mistakes. I don't know if the Rams maybe are trying things out in the red zone. We saw the 2 plays in a row, they've strayed away from Littleton, maybe just trying to give him some rest, but now they face 3rd and long.
Another 3rd and 10 here for Rhode Island, and that has been the cause of their downfall on a lot of these drives, is 3rd and long. We'll see if they can convert. Farrell looking end zone, and Gaines can't make the catch. He had a step, but was unable to reel it in, and it's 4th down.
No, that time, that play was exactly as they drew it up. Everything worked except for the catch. Gaines drops an easy touchdown in the back corner of the end zone.
4th and 10, Rhode Island will send out the kicking unit to try and make it a 3-point ball game.
So now it'll be Garth White who comes out. He missed one earlier. He's trying to bring the Rams just that little bit closer.
Kick is up, and this one is nailed. A good start here for Garth White. That's his first field goal in the Keeney Blue, and it cuts the deficit to 3 with just under 4 minutes to play in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and that's one that always feels good, trying to get that. It's all about firsts when you transfer. Just get that first field goal in and let the rest of the season come to you. But taking another peek, Greg Gaines had an opportunity here to potentially go up. Had he reeled this one in, he extended his body. I said earlier it was easy. I mean, I shouldn't really speak much. I don't know if I could do that really, John, but Greg Gaines, he becomes someone that you just kind of expect to make those, because he's got the talent. Just that play wasn't his.
It was a tough catch. He had to lay out for it. He did have a step on Marquise Alexander, was the corner, attempting to make the play, and luckily for Rhode Island, they were already in field goal range, and Garth White, nice field goal to cut it to 3, but still more work to be done for Jim Fleming's Rams.
Yeah, absolutely, and this has proven to be a game that looks like it's probably going to come down to the wire. Both coaches trying to show the conference what they're made of here in this season opener. But again, John, this is football. Anything is possible.
We've seen Rhode Island make a ton of improbable comebacks here. You look at last year against Albany, against Holy Cross, really having it come down to the final play. And as we're not even in the 4th quarter yet, a ton of time for the Rams to make the comeback. Kick is away, and a touchback the way it's ruled, and so now we'll see the Camels offense come back out there. Each team putting 3 points on the board in this 3rd quarter with under 4 minutes left.
And the Camels offense seems like it's on a bit of a dry spell. They've come up short a lot here in the 2nd half. We really saw them get moving in that 2nd quarter where they scored 10. But I think they've still yet to really figure it out through the air. Still only 76 passing yards.
Six Killer back out there. Fake handoff. Now under some pressure. A leaping throw is incomplete. Trying to check it down again to Lawrence. Good start for the Rhode Island defense. Again, from their own 25. It's nice for Rhode Island's defense to play with without being in tough field position. Second and 10. And Six Killer will adjust the play call. Here it is, it's a handoff to Lawrence, bounces it outside, breaks a tackle, but is drilled. A gain of just 1. And on the stop, is Patrick Conserve. And a nice play there. It's 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and that's how Jim Fleming likes his defensive backs. He wants them to fly to the ball carrier. It doesn't matter where they are in the field.
Also, Mason Hibbert again on the stop as well, and it's 3rd and 8. The crowd coming alive. a stop to give Rhode Island the ball back. Just over 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. 3rd and 8, overthrown, missing the target. Parker Jones, the intended receiver, and it's a 3 and out.
We're getting shades back to the first quarter in terms of both the Campbell offense and the Rhodey defense. A 3 and out, you hate to see it when you're up by just 3. And on comes the special teams unit. We'll take another look at Six Killers toss over the middle, just a little high. The intended target was Parker Jones there. But now it'll be a Campbell punt.
Lucas Wynn, and we have a flag on the play. Sanchez makes the catch. Now we'll see what the referees have to say. Rhode Island fans holding their breath at the moment. Just got the ball back. You don't want to see a penalty cost them that.
Looks like our head official didn't notice the flag and jumped the gun a little bit. He's discussing now with the line judge.
Here it is.
Illegal formation. Kicking team. 5 out of the backfield. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end.
And the yards will go after the kick.
So Rhode Island fans holding their breath, afraid that they might have just cost themselves a possession, but instead they get 5 yards added to the kick.
Yeah, that's part of that Rhode Island identity that I think Jim Fleming wants to erase. Is they have a history of making mistakes, mistakes that can very often be, game deciding. Though they've, like we said before, there's been a sort of magic in the air at Meade Stadium. The Rams have come away with a lot of tight victories in these last couple of seasons, but still, you don't want to make those mistakes ever.
Here's Farrell, keeps it, looking to pass, has no one open, so he throws it away.
Yeah, that's just a smart play there. You're out of the pocket. You've got a couple of decisions, none of them real good. Just throw it out of bounds and take the second down.
Farrell has had a tough time finding open receivers consistently. That time, he had a couple of options. Here you see he was 9 for 9, which now makes him 2 for his last 13 passing, and really slowed down. Give credit to the defense of the Camels. They've really come to play here on the road in their season opener as well. 2nd and 10. Farrell throws to his favorite target. It's Marquise Buchanan. Picks up 8 yards.
Yeah, throws it over to his favorite target, who's running what I would say might be his favorite route. Marquise Buchanan loves finding that sideline and pinning those feet right on the edge there. The gain is decent, but it will give the Rams now a decision to make. Do they want to stick to the air, which they have been the last couple of plays, or, I think everyone here in this crowd is looking at number 4 right now.
They bring in Will Dixon, 2 tight ends, and they hand it off to Littleton, and he gets the first down, and then a couple more on top of it. The power back continues to flex his muscles.
And Littleton now, that carry number 18 for him. He's averaging 3.4 per carry. Talk about a workhorse. This is a lot different from what we've seen in past seasons. Last year, there was much more of a decent split between Silas, Sloat, and Grant, though Grant being RB number 1. Here it's been feed Littleton all day.
And now it's Farrell on the keeper, and he's got room to run the first down, and he'll step out, but a flag down, and it looks like this one might be coming back. And you could tell on Farrell's face right away. Calls on Greg Gaines, and what went from a first down for Rhode Island on a Devin Farrell keeper ends up in another penalty costing the Rams. First down and 10, though, as it is 10 yards back of where the penalty occurred. First and 12 now, excuse me. Farrell under center. Just under 90 seconds to play. Farrell, play action, doesn't have the deep ball, and now he's gonna have to make something happen. Throws a deep ball to Gaines, and it's incomplete, but a flag is down. Off script, Devin Farrell giving his receiver a chance, and you could see the hold from down here.
So the 15-yard penalty will give the Rams a first down, but this play almost seemed like it was broken from the start. They lined up Finer in the fullback slot, and looked like he took quite a bump there. Farrell had some decent protection. He rolls out to the right looking for something. He just launches one up. That is a prayer and a half to Greg Gaines. Lucky that one wasn't intercepted. Even luckier that it ended in a defensive pass interference.
That is the third penalty on Marquise Alexander in coverage. He got there a little bit early, you could see it, and the play was live, and Gaines was looking for a flag as soon as the play ended, and he got it. So now Rhode Island up to the 38-yard line with a first and 10. It's Littleton again, cuts upfield, and this time he'll only get about 2 yards.
It was Antoine Sampa who was there to make the stop, just completely sealing that edge. Rhode Island hasn't had the same fortune trying to run to the outside as they have up the middle. You know, I'm a big guy for saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I think for the Rams, you know, try and keep feeding Littleton up the A-gap.
40 seconds to go here in this third period. Here's Buchanan in motion. Farrell drops back, gets up the middle, trying to escape some tacklers, and he does. He will get the first down and get tackled out of bounds. There you see the dual threat ability of Devin Farrell, getting a fresh set of downs for his squad.
Absolutely, and that's the play where, you know, the quarterbacks of old might simply try and, you know, gain 5 or 6 and then maybe take the slide, but not Devin Farrell. He takes that one close, doesn't get the first down. It's third and short, but nonetheless, now it'll be Littleton who gets the first down.
A lot more as well, as we are in the red zone here for the Rams.
But there is some laundry in the backfield, so this one might be coming back, John.
Thomas Buxton, the left guard grad student who started 11 out of 12 games for Rhode Island last year. A costly penalty goes from 3rd and 1 where Littleton was down to the 10-yard line. Now it's 3rd and 11 and essentially out of field goal range as well.
Yeah, and that's got to be so frustrating for the Rams. You've got a play which was about to pin you inside the 10. Now you're borderline out of field goal range here.
Terrence Campbell, the freshman running back in the backfield. And Rhode Island will let the play clock hit 0. Trailing by 3, entering the final 15 minutes. Does Rhode Island have a comeback, or do the Camels upset the champs? It's the fourth quarter here from Meade Stadium, and how else would we open the 2025 campaign without a little bit of drama? The Campbell Camels coming in on the road, putting up a real fight against the CAA champs from last year. Here's Farrell, 3rd down and 11, going deep. He's got gains and making the incomplete stop, but the flag is down. A flag is down again. It's Marquise Alexander in coverage.
Yeah, and they're going to get him for a defensive pass interference, and honestly, they're going to call it like that every single time. Alexander had his back turned to the quarterback. He was looking completely at, I think it was Gaines over on that long bomb. Yeah, that's a textbook pass interference. You've got to have an eye on the ball. You've got to play the ball. You can't play the target until he's made at least contact with it. So that one, a free 1st down for the Rams.
And that brings them to the 24-yard line, just outside the red zone. It's a pitch to Littleton, spinning and falling and fighting for as many yards. He gets 3. That's a hard-fought 3 yards right there.
Absolutely, John. I keep thinking about what you said earlier is, you know, he's someone who he will always fall forward no matter what.
We've seen it time and time again, and those yards continue to stack up, the yards after contact. A nice development here for the Camels. If you look in that linebacker area, number 43, that's Logan Liverman. He's back out there. He went down with an injury earlier in the game, but it's good to see him back out there on 2nd and 7. Here's Farrell with time, delivers, and it's tipped up in the air and it falls incomplete.
And near disaster for Rhodey right there, as Lakeem Rudolph, number 1, the linebacker there, was on his back as that ball fell right to him. He just got a little slipped up. If he was on his feet, this ball's going the other way.
Tough break for the defense. Might have had a pick there. That ball tipped up, and that's always an offense's nightmare is when it gets tipped up. But fortunately for Rhode Island, they have another opportunity here, and it's 3rd and 7. From the 21, Farrell dropping back, going to the out route. He's got Gaines, makes a move, spinning inside the 10-yard line. Greg Gaines III continues to cement himself as a trusty target for Devin Farrell.
Well, the Rams put Gaines in motion, and out of that double stack towards the left, they had Marquise Buchanan on the corner, Greg Gaines in the out route, forces the defense to make a choice. Who are you going to leave open? This time the answer was Greg Gaines, and now the Rams looking at 1st and goal.
1st and goal from the 9. Rhode Island back in the red zone. Finer in motion. It's a handoff to Littleton. He's fighting down to the 5. And that is where he will be upended. A gain of 4. Rhode Island continuing to knock on the door. A touchdown would put him up by 3.
Yeah, and all 240 pounds Littleton there looked like a human pinball as he just seemingly bounced his way for a short gain. And like you said, John, Rhode Island is knocking on the door here, and they've got the big guys in up front.
21 carries for 75 yards for Antwain Littleton Jr. in his Rhodey debut. 2nd and goal. Quick pass, and it's tipped up again, trying to get back to Gaines and Marquise Alexander with nice coverage.
And Alexander making up for that costly penalty earlier, playing tight defense on the slant route. Greg Gaines and Marquise Buchanan both lethal in the middle of the field, particularly too in the red zone. So now 3rd and medium. The Rams, we're going to see what they opt to do. You'll take the field goal, you'll take the tie, but you know, I don't have to say this, but you'd love the lead here.
Will Dixon, the tight end, at the bottom of your screen. Farrell and the Rams offense 6 yards away from pay dirt. 3rd down, going to Gaines, and he makes the catch. Did he get in? They rule him down at the 1, and now we have a fascinating choice for Jim Fleming.
Absolutely, we do have a choice, and we're going to see what the Rams opt to do. I'm a big Mike Tomlin fan, and I know Mike Tomlin right now would go for it right here. Greg Gaines makes the grab, one-handed it seems too, and his knee most certainly was down. I think we're going to take another peek at it, and yes, we will. The officials will call a timeout and take a look. And it most certainly looked like Gaines' knee, his left knee went down before his body crossed the end zone. The question is, where was the ball?
It's either a touchdown for Rhode Island or 4th and 1, and a fun decision for Rhode Island in their opening game.
You know, usually, John, I'm the go-getter, and I would say go for it if you're down on 1. But in this instance right here, I might just take the 3. We'll take a peek here at Greg Gaines. This is what they're reviewing currently at the moment. He makes the one-handed grab, and yeah, that knee is most certainly down at the 1.
I think he's going to be down at the 1.
Actually, they might even be wondering if he caught it. It looked like the ball moved a little bit. Again, citing my fan of Mike Tomlin, no stranger to calls, goal line calls being overturned. That of which I'm referencing the Jesse James catch from the 2017 matchup with the Patriots. But anywho, taking a peek here, I think Gaines did maintain control, but I don't think there's no universe where that was a touchdown.
And if they rule him down at the 1, you say take the points, but I say Antwain Littleton Jr. has been a real problem for Campbell defenders, especially up front.
He has, and he's been that guaranteed, he's almost like beast mode. He's that guaranteed yard. And it is upheld. The official sticks the fist up. It'll be 4th and short. And John, I see the Rhode Island offense on the field, and I see your excitement, and the fans see the excitement too. This is, to put it kindly, a big 4th down.
4th and a half yard. Devin Farrell and his squad. What do they have on 4th and goal? It's a handoff to Littleton, and he's in for the touchdown. 6 points for Rhode Island, and they're up 23-20.
And the risk pays off. Rhode Island taking the lead now with just over 12 left in this ball game and in this season opener for both teams. John, was I wrong to doubt you? Maybe I was. Littleton gets in, and now the Rams have a chance to go up 4.
And they had a play call. I was pretty sure they were going to go to the read option with Devin Farrell, who we know has countless times punched it in with his legs. But the power back, Antwain Littleton Jr., 2 touchdowns in his Rhode Island debut. What a start for the running back. Garth White's kick is up and good. It's 24-20. The Rams have jumped back out in front. A touchdown drive with some theatrics, and the power back, who has flexed his muscles all night long, gets it done. His 2nd time touching pay dirt gives Rhode Island a 4-point lead. Rhode Island takes the lead back. They are up 24-20, courtesy of an Antwain Littleton Jr. 1-yard touchdown on 4th and goal. Of course, they give it to the power back to force his way into the end zone, and now Rhode Island's defense playing from ahead once again. Kickoff is on the way. Catch is made, and there will be a return. Up to the 20, breaks free all the way to the 25, up to the 29, but we have another flag as Michael Gilliam was on the return. We'll see what the flag is. It was around the 45-yard line was where we saw it. Let's see what the call is.
We got a little sneak peek right there. So the block in the back will set the Campbells back off that kick return. Taking another peek here. Look at that tackle. Wow. Looks like you get a little trip to Suplex City right there. Ethan McCann Carter showing his inner Brock Lesnar.
There you see A.J. Pena. A.J. Pena's at his best when he's moving and grooving like that. That's what I'll say. When he's feeling the heat of the moment, that's when that star shines the brightest.
Absolutely, John. You know, Coach Flem, you know, he recruits athletes for their skill, but he also recruits characters. He recruits good people. A.J. Pena has shown he can let loose a little bit.
Six Killer fires over the middle, and it's complete. A nice throw and catch with Trevor Wilson, the tight end.
And I think for Campbell here in the late stage of this game, you really want to try and get it moving in the air more. That reception right there, or that completion, I should say, puts Six Killer back at 50% completion for the night. He's 10 of 20. You know, you'd like to open up that run game by having success in the air.
He's got 121 total yards and a touchdown. There you see Chandler in motion again. And it's going to be a screen pass for him. And a nice open field tackle. What a play. Trey Lubin comes flying in and gets the stop for a loss.
Trey Lubin came out of nowhere on that one. Completely blowing Mike Chandler out of the water. I was shocked to see it. Might have left his feet there too.
A loss of 3, and an open field tackle against an athlete like Chandler is as hard as it gets, and this time lowered the shoulder. Wham! Loss of 3, it's 3rd and 4. Big spot here for Six Killer. Camels need a first down. Free rusher, and he's taken down. Case Makins makes the play. The captain comes through, and it's 4th down.
And a huge loss there for the Camels, and a huge defensive stop from Rhode Island. They sent the blitzing defensive back there, and eventually it was Case Mankins who got all of that, dropped all of his weight onto Six Killer. Six Killer will be feeling that. He might need some ice after that, but nonetheless, it is now 4th and very long. The Camels now punting out of their own end zone.
Sam Aforier got there first, got his hands on the quarterback, and Case Mankins came in to finish the job. Punt is away. It's shallow. It'll land at the 40, and Sanchez can't handle it. He falls down on it, but that could have been a problem for Rhode Island.
Yeah, and that punt was a little more shallow than I think most people here anticipated, but Sanchez, his hands tonight have certainly raised eyebrows. Though again, we talk about, you know, those first game jitters, but then again, that keeps making me think of the fact that both teams are opening their season with a conference game that's never easy to do, because, you know, that first game generally is, you know, you're feeling things out, you're learning, a lot of guys in new places, especially now with the modern day transfer portal and what we see. Speaking of the transfer portal, the Rams have scored with Antwain Littleton And his production right now, 22 carries, 76 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. He's looking to have a pretty productive year.
He's had a pretty productive start. Here's Farrell going deep for Buchanan. He makes the catch, slips the tackle, and he will run all the way into the end zone. He's skirting the line and gets in for 6. Marquise Buchanan, his first touchdown of the year.
And the Rams aren't just going for safe here, they are going for the kill now as they increase their lead to double digits. Marquise Buchanan, I mean, what can he do?
He has been a star all night long for Devin Farrell and makes yet another play. It's 30-20. Rhode Island came into the quarter trailing by 3. They are up by 10. Looking to make it 11 here with the extra point. Garth White, his kick is up, and it's good. 31-20. The Rams have put 2 touchdowns on the board in the first 5.5 minutes of this fourth quarter. Look at that, a play action.
And there's one guy you don't want to leave one-on-one. It's Marquise Buchanan. He is dangerous. It doesn't matter if he's slanting, if he's running an out, if he's running a seam. He's just like that. There's no other way to put it, John. Marquise Buchanan is like that.
They put him on the safety. Evan Spivey was unable to make the pass breakup and then unable to make the tackle right after as Buchanan hit the brakes before accelerating into the end zone. What a start for Devin Farrell and Marquise Buchanan's season offensively. They have gotten it done tonight, all night long. Farrell with 275 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. And if you look, Buchanan, 6 receptions, 167 yards, and a touchdown.
You know, keeping track of Buchanan here, he's got 167 receiving today. His career best is only 171. That came last year against Monmouth. So Buchanan, you know, one more drive, and I think with 9:30 left, we'll definitely have time for that. Buchanan's got a chance to make history for himself.
Kick is away. Randall King will field it at the 5. Gets to the 20, all the way up to the 30. He's still going. A nice return up to the 34. That's a good start as there is the star himself. Marquise Buchanan came back to Rhode Island looking to do bigger and better things than they accomplished last year. And he has gotten off to an amazing start.
Again, Marquise Buchanan, he's the hometown kid. The people here love him. He's developing himself into a roadie icon. And with the 6'4" frame and all the intangibles he's got, there's no question why.
The way he moves at 6'4" and his ball skills, everything you want in a good receiver, he has. And he's putting it on display here in week 1 of this 2025 season. Now trailing by 11, J.J. Cowan takes the carry. Pena tackles him for a gain of 8.
I mean, Cowan's been someone who I'm almost shocked the Camels haven't gone to him more on the ground at his 5th rushing attempt. Chandler and Six Killer are at 6 and 5 respectively apiece. Cowan, that RB1, averaging 5.6 yards a carry, so we know he's got the talent to do it.
Six Killer gets it to King for the first down. So that will move the chains, and they'll need a little bit more of that. Now in the last 8.5 minutes of play here, and a 2-score deficit, trailing by 11 on the road.
Yeah, and I like what I'm seeing here from the Camels. I think just play your brand of offense, play methodically, don't rush anything. You've got 8 minutes, you've got 3 timeouts. Don't rush it.
Quick pass, and wrapping up, and getting away from a tackle, it's Parker Jones. Making a nice move, but he won't get much more.
And it was Sam O'Fury, number 33, the redshirt senior linebacker who initially had the wrap there, but he wasn't able to make anything out of it. And it looks like we have a Ram down, and it's Case Mankins who is able to get up on his own accord. He'll go meet with the training staff. Good to see the captain able to leave the field on his own, and he's met with an applause.
That would be a tough blow, pointing to his forearm. Didn't get a ton of action in the past couple of years. Wesley Neal has been a star for Rhode Island, but now an opportunity to start for Mankins, and he's become the captain, taking a really good lead of the Rhode Island defense. That would be a tough loss. Hopefully he's okay. But it's 2nd and 10 now for the Camels. Run up the middle. Cowan slips through, makes a move, falls forward for a first down.
Cowan is shifty. He's got the ability to make big plays and to keep the chains moving like he just did there. He's been a little underutilized tonight, and I think just now we're starting to see him in action.
Now with Case Mankins out of the game, you'll see a lot more of Tosin Akinsolari at defensive tackle. Here's a quick throw and a quick catch. Nice play that time. Gets a first down again.
Yeah, John Boyles makes the secure tackle here. And it's always interesting to see how teams pivot when they lose a leader, even if it's just for a drive. See the impact it has on the psyche of this Rams defense.
2nd and 1, a quick toss and another first down. It's Spencer Jones making the play. Pena on the stop. So Campbell moving the ball a little bit. They are within the 30-yard line at the 28.
Campbell's been taking their time here, and I mentioned that's good. You want to take your time here, but you do have to keep in mind it is a double-digit deficit you're facing. And also, John, as you've seemed to have observed, Mike Chandler is in the quarterback spot right now.
Takes the snap, pitches it. It's Cowan again. He's been all over this drive, picks up 5. J.J. Cowan has been the beneficiary of a lot of run calls here on this drive, and he's made the most of them. 2nd and 7 now coming for Campbell. Six Killer. 2nd and 7. Making something happen, but he will not escape. That's Case Mankins. We were worried about him, but he comes home and gets the sack, but there is laundry on the field.
So flags on the play, but that pocket slowly collapsed, and they bring him down, but all for naught. The Rams are going to get called here with an illegal substitution. So a little bit of movement over there on the sideline, and that'll move the Camels. Won't give them a first, but it'll give them 2nd and decently manageable now after the big sack.
2nd and 2. Wonder if they'll give it to Cowan, who's been really good on this drive. King in motion, and they'll keep it with 6 Killer, but he's not going anywhere. Allende Johnson gets there first. And Rhode Island with a TFL makes it 3rd and medium.
Yeah, youth football coaches around the world rejoice. That is a pristine form tackle from Allende Johnson, the redshirt senior out of Danbury, Connecticut. He made it work there. The TFL, as you mentioned, Johnny, makes it 3rd and about 4. And again, the folks here at Meade Stadium are letting their voices be heard.
Here we go, 3rd down and 4. Rhode Island looking for another stop. Here's 6 Killer, dropping back, has time, over the middle, and it's incomplete. Trey Lubin has been all over this game, and he gets the stop on 3rd down.
And that is textbook cornerback right there from Trey Lubin. It looked like there were a couple options there open for Six-Killer. He had the wheel route there on the left side. Opted to go for the drag across the middle. But like we mentioned, Lubin in perfect positioning to get a stop. And now on 4th down, the offense will stay on the field.
4th and 4. And the play is blown dead. And you can see it from the referee. It's a false start.
And you know, for both teams, these are the kind of scenarios you work on in practice. It's a tight ball game. We're in the closing minutes of the game, and it's crunch time. You know, a score here, while it doesn't completely save the game for the Camels, it would certainly make the Rams start sweating. So now on 4th and 9, let's see what sort of offensive set the Camels come out in.
From 4th and 4 to 4th and 9. The Rams looking for a stop. Six-Killer dropping back, and the ball is batted down at the line, and the Rams get the stop that they need. They take the ball back from their 27-yard line with an 11-point lead.
And it looked like there's a little bit of jitterness after that play. Flag called. Looks like it's likely going to be unsportsmanlike. We'll await the call to see which team it falls on, but a huge break up there. So the unsportsmanlike is on Cameron Durant, the left guard for the Camels. And again, Rhode Island just so important the way they've been playing. A huge breakup there. Give credit to who that was. Was it Muse on the pass breakup? I want to say it was Dimitri Robinson. Got his hand up there, batted it down.
It was Patrick Conserve who got his paw on the football. Now Rhode Island will take over from the 43 thanks to the penalty added on top. And in a 2-score game with just under 4.5 remaining, you want to hand it to your workhorse back, Antwain Littleton, and that's what they do. Fights forward for a gain of 2 yards.
Yeah, and about this time is what, if you're Rhode Island, you start doing what they call the 4-minute offense, where you take as much time off the clock as you can. Just going to try and milk this one. They opted for the power to the left side. That one to no avail. Again, they haven't had as much success trying to get off tackle on the handoffs. They found a lot more inside. So you got to figure that the Camels are expecting that at this point.
With 10 seconds left on the play clock already, really letting the clock drain here. 3 seconds, and they get it off. You know where they're going, and he's going to make it work. He keeps fighting for more yards. He does not go down. Antwain Littleton Jr.
You know, I feel like a broken record here, John, but that's just what Littleton's been doing all night. I mean, he just keeps the feet pumping, and you gotta love that if you're a fan of ground and pound. The Camels will take a timeout here and try and save some clock.
Yeah, you got to start taking them now and give yourself as much time as possible, but attack that on the fact that Littleton is, you can't really bring him down with how you're down 2 possessions right now. It's a tall task for the Camels.
Yeah, you figure only a couple more first downs from the Rams will probably be the dagger in the heart for the Camels. Figure if the Rams can at least even get into field goal range, that would probably just about do it.
They've got 2 more timeouts and the 2-minute warning. And man, how can you have a better introduction to your new team than what Antwain Littleton Jr. has done? 24 carries, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns, and every time the Rams have needed a play, he has broken a tackle and made it happen. 3rd and 2. Rams looking for a first down. And he falls forward. I'm not sure if it's for enough. It'll be 4th and 1. Got wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage.
You know, they had a blitzing defensive back in the backfield, getting Littleton before he even got a chance to start turning those legs. That's probably the best time to try and stop him, is before he gets moving. Nonetheless, we'll get another timeout here from the Camels, saving some more clock as we peek at that first down saving tackle that was made. The handoff was up the middle, and it seemed like it was
Ebenezer Badada.
Yes, it was Badada who made the big play in the backfield, and can't really understate the importance of a big play like that. You've got to get a stop at some point and get these Rams off the field if you want any chance of walking away from week 1 with a win.
So they got the stop they needed. Rhode Island will punt. They have 1 timeout left and the 2-minute warning, and they're going to need to air it out offensively and start getting some explosive plays. The Rams have done a good job of limiting those explosive plays tonight. It's been a lot of running from Mike Chandler, J.J. Cowan. We've seen Ethan Lawrence, but we have not seen Six Killer really letting it rip from the pocket, as King makes the catch and he's spun down at the 7-yard line. So tack on some tough field position for the Camels. With 3:13 remaining, trailing by 11.
And now with 3:13 left, teams are going to reconvene. They're going to talk shop, talk strategy here as we're nearing the end. It's been an exciting week 1 matchup at Meade Stadium. A lot of offense as we see both teams putting up some numbers. Rhode Island with 386. Campbell just over that 220 mark. I think we've seen a lot more ground and pound action than we have through the air, though the Rams have been fairly efficient through the air when push comes to shove.
1st and 10. Six Killer pump fakes, holds onto the ball, and he's going to get wrapped up and taken down. Tosin Akinsalari with the stop.
You know, gain a yard there on the scramble, but that's one that kind of feels more like a sack. The way that the pocket collapsed. And again, the urgency here for the Camels is just getting higher and higher.
Six Killer escaping, running out of time. He's going to throw it away. 3rd and 8 with 2:41 remaining. Pressure for Rhode Island getting to the quarterback.
And that's what can be frustrating when you play the aggressive game in this late stage. Two quick completions, all of a sudden you've got 3rd and long. Nonetheless, the Rams defense has an opportunity to potentially ice this one.
3rd and 8. Camels will need to get something going offensively, and we have a flag, and if you saw it at the top of your screen, the ref calls a false start.
So I get the sophomore King with the false start call, and 3rd and 9 becomes 3rd and 14. Unfortunate for the Camels, as they've got a lot of ground to make up.
From their own 5-yard line. They're going to need a big play sooner rather than later. And we have another flag. Six Killer is going to get taken down, but we have to see what the flag is. Not sure. It was thrown right at the start of the play. It's the 2nd time AJ Pena has been caught offsides, and that one gives another opportunity here for the Camels to keep the game alive.
We're back to square one.
Yeah, 3rd and 8, and then a false start, and then an offsides. Contradict each other. So we'll do it again. Third down and 8. Here come the Rams pressure. Running out of time is Six Killer, and he's brought down. The Rams get the stop that they need. It's Rohan Davey making the most of his opportunity. It's 4th down.
Yeah, and Davey is someone that Jim Fleming was very high on, talking about him before the season began. He's someone at that linebacker position. He's 5'10", but he just plays smart. That's what Coach Fleming used to describe him. He is knowledgeable, he's fast, and he plays like he's twice his size.
Making a nice play there. And that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. The Rams are in control with 2 minutes to go.
See friends, see food, see view. The Coast Guard House Restaurant.
2 minutes left to play here from Meade Stadium. 4th and 14 for the Camels. In his own end zone, Siskiller. A nice pass over the middle with room to run. Breaking a tackle all the way up to the 48-yard line. What a strike and a much-needed big play. Of course, it's Spencer Jones to come through for the Camels.
And a prayer that was just answered there for the Camels. A lot of people here were thinking that we might see a safety after the big sack on 3rd down, but on 4th and almost the entire state of Rhode Island, the Camels convert.
So a fresh set of downs here for the Camels. Another check down, it's dropped. And Campbell cannot have any of that. They're gonna look to score. They're gonna need to do it quickly.
Now, and they went right back to the slant there, but it was Harwood who just couldn't reel it in. It bounced right off the breadbasket. We've seen a couple of drops here in game 1 from both teams that can just be frustrating, and especially when you know that your players are competent and able to make those grabs. I mean, what could be 2nd and short now is 2nd and 10.
Especially considering the deficit and the job that Campbell's gonna need to do. They're gonna have any hope. Mike Chandler back in. Here's Siskiller with time, running out of it. He's gonna check it down. Lawrence makes a man miss, but it's upended across the 50-yard line. Short of a 1st down, it'll be 3rd and 2.
That's a solid game there, and that shows the playmaking ability of Camden Siskiller. He really improvised back there in a state where a lot of quarterbacks would just crumble.
3rd and 2, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it to the quarterback, Mike Chandler. But instead, it's 4th down and 2. That at least stops the clock. There's a minute 21 left. This is the ball game here for the Camels. If they do not get it, they only have 1 timeout left. Time not on their side. 2 touchdowns from Rhode Island here in this 4th quarter from Littleton and Buchanan. It's really turned the tides. Do the Camels have a big play in their bones? Siskiller under pressure, gets drilled, and it's incomplete. And Rhode Island, with 1 minute and 17 seconds remaining, will take control of the ball.
Rhode Island takes over, and that might just about do it for tonight. But wow, did Six Killer take a blow on that one. He got all of that hit right there.
Rhode Island with the ball on their own 47-yard line, but I'm not sure. Might as well kneel it out. There is one timeout remaining, but it does not matter one bit of how little time there is left on the clock. So, barring any absurd miracle for the Camels, Rhode Island will take care of business at home as the heavy favorite coming off of their CAA championship run. They get off to a great start here in 2025.
And as Farrell takes his first knee, as time will begin to tick down, the Camels opting not to use that one timeout they have left. You know, it's so important to establish identity. That's something we've been saying here on this call. And for both teams, I think they've been just about doing that. Rhode Island showing that, you know, there was the question of, is that running back room going to live up to what they had in years prior? And I think tonight, and well, can't speak so much on the room, but I can speak for Littleton. He has answered the call in terms of production. And on the Campbell side of things, I think we're seeing Camden's Six Killer essentially in that QB1 spot, with Mike Chandler being used as the gadget. I would expect to see a lot more of that as this season continues. I would also expect to see Cowan get a lot more touches. He's been someone who can be very efficient when need be.
And with that kneel from Devin Farrell, players embracing, and Rhode Island will hold on from trailing to the comeback in the fourth quarter. It all started early in the final 15 minutes as the clock continues to tick. And the Rams have held on and won at home. They move their record to 1-0. They win a conference game against the Campbells. And they get their 2025 season started the same way they started their 2024 season, with a home win.
Yeah, absolutely, John. And of course, it wasn't without the, quote, pins and needles that Coach Fleming talked about. People on the edge of their seats essentially until the last minute in this ball game, though Rhode Island maintained a steady lead throughout the fourth quarter. This one was back and forth, and it's a testament to what we're going to see in this conference for the rest of the season, I think. I mean, you know, we've seen this, the CAA can be so unpredictable at times. Tonight, it's the preseason poll favorites who come away victorious.
Devin Farrell throws for 275 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Twain Littleton Jr., 85 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. And the Rams take care of business. They beat the Camels at home and start off their season 1-0.